better than all of consciousness info. Sonnet a TV7. You keep it hot 24/7. You got that light for 102. Sonnet a TV2. Yeah.
You are now inside Sonnet Studios, the House of Consciousness production, Black News presentation.
Consciousness info. Sonnet a TV7. You keep it hot 24/7. You got that light for 102. Sonnet a TV2. Yeah.
Now inside Sonnet Studios, the House of Consciousness production.
Level. So let me hear you say sa, netta, netta, sa, netta, netta, sa, netta, netta. Alright then, Sonetta brings the truth. Black News 102. This is here for me and you. It's Black News 102. House of Consciousness, make sure you're logged into YouTube. Black man, hold your head up high, and black woman, you too. Me nah go apologize, love off me melanin. Forget them other guys, that's what I'm telling them. Salute the general, never fear the challenge. The God saw netter stay strapped with the cannon. Don't ever disrespect, so it's best you pay homage. You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge. White supremacy, education get abolished. A laptop, a pen and my pad is my college. Black man cipher, enter at your own risk. Make Europeans bow down on 125th. Saw netter got the spirit of Nat Turner. Waking up our people that's been miseducated and mass murdered. And it don't matter if you're shot in the clap burners. It's never too late to awake and progress further. As sure as the sun shines and the wind blows, there's therapy for post-traumatic slavery syndrome. Sonetta brings the truth. Black News 102. This is here for me and you. It's Black News 102. House of Consciousness, make sure you're logged into YouTube. Black man, hold your head up high, and black woman, you too.
Peace, assalamu alaikum, hotep, namaste, jambo, ashe, shalom, shalom, all the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light, to the HOK family, to the audience. Before we get started, I have to let you know that we have an upcoming debate. We do have Pastor Bennett against Captain Tazariak. They're going to be discussing the topic, salvation, is it also for non-Israelites? They're actually going to be debating it. So even though it says $25, it's going to be a free debate, compliments of Sonnetter. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get this kicked off right away. Let me take this overlay down. Please hit the like button when you come in, because this is going to be a great topic. We have brought in the very beautiful, we have Jana. Somebody's echoing. I think that might be yours, Janae. You look gorgeous.
Thank you. Let me just.
So beautiful. So And look at these two gorgeous queens. Okay, so we have Janae coming in. The reason I want to bring Janae in is because the nonsense. See, I get to speak without being censored today. The nonsense. I love you, Sonetter. The nonsense is not going to even start to sprout. They tried to plant a seed about this sister, that she's the new KKK and COINTELPRO and the downtrodden black man. No, we're going to talk to this sister and we're going to hear her voice. And I'm doing this for the family out there who don't know what an amazing sister this is and how brave she was to break her program and come forward and stand up and say, I can't, this isn't going to happen. I don't deserve this. And neither does any other person who's been a victim of Nature Boy. Peace to you, Gemini, the goddess. I want to let you come in. The sister's having some device issues. It's okay, Janae. We're going to keep this flowing, and you just come back in just like double dutch. Peace, Gemini. I'm gonna let you start out and introduce yourself, and then we'll go into to Sakina Ra. I see you in the background, Cube. Definitely stay there. Hold on. Don't leave. We need the male energy, but I want to bring the sister in first. She wants to, she said she wanted to say some things with the ladies on the panel, and then gradually bring in the men, which I'm absolutely fine doing that for her. So much respect and love to the brothers. Just letting Cube know we see you back there. Don't go anywhere. All right. Now, like I said, like double dutch, jump on in, Gemini. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine today. I'm excited for the show. I'm always excited to hear, another divine feminine speak their truth. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm here for it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us, Queen. To the other goddess on the panel, Sakina Ra. Peace to you. Come on in. Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Peace again, Queen Nathal. This is, like Gemini said, this is going to be very interesting and a success story.
Right? It is a success story.
Yes, because I'm aware of it, but I didn't, I don't know all of it. And we never will, but for whatever she's willing to share, we appreciate, right?
Right.
Because that, again, is a success story because she had to endure that, right?
Yes, my love. I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
No, because
no, I'm laughing at Cube's messiness back here. Why, Cube?
Because a lot of people go through their own some form of whether it be physical or emotional or verbal, and we don't tell it, but we'll tell you what we won't go through when it's us. And for her to leave it and be able to tell it and then still stand strong and even to warn others about it and they used to shun women from this. There was a story, and I'm not trying to make something else out of that, but there was a point in time, we're gonna say date rape, right? Date rape wasn't.
Yeah, let's try to take the R word like.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say rape, but it wasn't a thing until the 80s or so. So for women to be able to stand up and say these things without being ridiculed, and I think she's being ridiculed or called KKK, or I think you said something to that effect.
Well, the sisters that came in, and I just wanted you to quickly, you're good. You always get sensitive. I'm glad you came in and introduced yourself. The sisters who are in there, and we have Sister Ray on here. She's been a great advocate for ladies and the victims of against Nature Boy. Janae is back. We are going to let her back up. She was having some tech difficulties. Peace to you, Ray, if you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, Janae's back.
Yes.
All right. So what I want to do is, everybody, I see you in the back. If you just could stay there. No, Cube. It's not about oppressing the divine masculine, but we're going to do, we're going to do this in order, because I don't want the energy to be so much like it was with, I'm not going to lie. I was triggered by that build because
Yeah.
it for me, we're not going to get in here and promote somebody who is a convicted rapist and who has been seen by the entire community to just victimize
Facts.
men and
Facts.
women, men, children. So the divine masculine is on standby and not standby. Your queue isn't up. You understand? Like there's a play going on, and you enter on the second scene. So just hold on, please, because I really to be serious about this. I want to talk to Janae. I want to bring her on. She's been living her life doing just being beautiful, growing, healing, and a lot of times I'm and you know, Janae, I could have brought you on for a lot of stuff, talk to us about this and that. But when I see people trying to keep this situation alive by trying to villainize her, no, I want her to have a voice. So Janae, without any further ado, I'd like to just bring you up and let people just, greet the audience and say what you need to say, and let's get the truth out. You're muted, Queen. Oh man.
Oh no, she's frozen.
I know, dang. Okay, we're breathing. We know what energies we're dealing with. We want to cleanse this area because we are going to hear from her. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We do.
Oh, hallelujah. There, God.
Yes,
Thank you so
okay.
much.
All right, beautiful. Peace.
Thank you so much. Peace, love, and happiness to everyone. Thank you, goddesses, and thank you, Napa goddess, for having me here. I am Janae, formerly known as Natiri. I was in the cult called Carbonation, in and out for some years, and I'm here to tell my truth because I was also the one who have convicted this villain named Nature Boy.
Yes.
So we're here to talk about it.
Thank you. And I love that. To the point. She is the one who what we're going to promote is the truth we're promoting her as a hero. We hear people saying, oh, nobody's perfect. We had sisters on the panel over there trying to say nobody's perfect, this and that. We understand all that. But what we need to see is what the fruit of a person's tree. And Janae has protected and spoken up for thousands of people who have been victimized by Nature Boy. Where do we begin? I mean, where can we begin? Janae, you can jump in anytime. Anybody can jump in. And Ray, I don't know if your mic is off but we haven't heard you. Your mic. Yes.
I was saying hi to you, and then I was muted, but then Janae came up, and I was like, well, I don't want to cut her off. But yes, I'm so happy to see Janae here. I am so proud of her. I'm elated to hear what she has to say tonight. And Nepal, you are just beautiful. Thank you for having her. You ladies,
beautiful.
Met you guys, but it's so nice to meet you all as well.
Wow. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Yes, I'm going to let these ladies introduce themselves to you, but this sister, that energy over there, I was in warrior mode. So you were so calming and so beautiful and graceful. And I was just, when that whole panel, it triggered me to see, I knew that the sisters were going to get interviewed. I knew Nature Boy. I knew Zoka, and I call her Fufu, but I can't remember how you say her name. How do you say her name? I knew they would be on today.
Mm-hmm.
What I will not tolerate is, no, you're not going to start calling this goddess,
exactly,
this warrior and advocate, a villain. Well, we're not doing that. So that's where the trigger came from.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And Nepal, can I say something to that?
Sure. Of course.
So the thing that a lot of people don't understand about what happens in cults, usually the ones who are treated the worst are the most devoted. Because there's a lot of if you the 48 laws of power. What happens with, and narcissists do this, and this is why the best cult leaders are narcissists. And even when they say that he's not all bad, of course, because narcissists require a level of charisma, right, in order to be able to attract people to them. But the charisma is just what draws you to them so that they get you where they want you. But there's a lot of what they do is they build this long list of things that you've done wrong to them. Everything you do is wrong. You've hurt them in this way. You said this wrong. You did this wrong. You did that wrong. And so it keeps you in this constant state of contrition. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you and they excuse the way that they treat you with all these things that they claim you've done wrong to them. I've seen it done to Janae. Oh, Janae, you left me and you did this and you did that and you did this. And when you're in that mind state, when you are, brainwashed and, drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, you believe it. You believe that, oh, I've got to work my way back into his good graces. And so they work twice as hard to prove themselves. And so the women that you see there now, he despised those women. Ephraim
Thank you.
hated it. He used
Yes.
Fucking, those are the one. Yes, that was Fufu and Zoka were at the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. But I don't see them as that because when we're dealing with, and I'm gonna after this, I know I have Sakina and Gemini. Everybody can jump in, but I gotta focus on because I'm gonna ask her some questions. We want to go to the beginning because for those who don't know, we need for her to speak. But I want to say this:
Absolutely.
Netter didn't understand. He was like, take easy with them, take easy with them. At this point, you can't be too easy. See, when they came on the first time when Janae was there with Nature Boy, that's when I was like, I must be completely tiptoe with these sisters, soft kid gloves. But now you're advocating for the release of the devil. I will not allow you to come in here and make him a hero at the expense of the victims who came forward to, put him where he belongs. So I just want to say all that now. So I wasn't trying to beat the sisters up, but what we're not going to do, it's already bad enough that you're trying to promote him. We're not going to let you villainize the people who were brave enough to get him convicted. I'm going to, look, I'm going to take it down. And I know the brother's in the back. Cube has grinded has his axe so ground to where it's scalpel sharp. He's ready to come in here. But I see you in the back, brothers. I want to say, Gemini, Sakina, before I let Janae really go in, is there anything you want to say? Because I want to really get her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I want to hear. I'm here for it. I'm ready to listen and let her get out anything that she needs, that she see fits to say.
I do want to throw this in really quick. I want to throw in that. I want to finish this off rather. Because I did say she was a survivor. I want to stand on that. But I also want to say, because of, there was a period in time before in the 80s, and even I still see it now, right? This man sphere, right? There was a time in the 80s when women got pregnant, and women had to go through a lot, and even up in the grape area, where they had to prove the father. They had to prove, how do you know? They had to prove with the grapes. They had to prove, right? And you had to go through all of this defamatory. And so it was shaming. And they put you through some shame. You see what I'm saying? And to the point that a lot of women, if they went through it, you didn't want to even tell.
Right. And she did come forward and tell this time.
That's right. And even so, for you to do that, That's why it was swept under the rug with families, because they were making you say you wanted it, you did it, you knew what you were doing, and all of this carrying on. And so it took for you to stand up for yourself and all of this carrying on. So that's what makes you a survivor,
Yeah.
because other people were wrong and nobody might have stood by your side. Nobody advocated for you, right? And then the law sometimes didn't stand by your side. You see,
Yes, thank
and
you.
who
Thank
could
you for
you
that.
run to when you didn't have no one to run to, right? And so this what makes your story that more powerful, because it lets other young ladies like you know that they can come through it too.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you. That is so true, and
Yes.
I love you for saying that, Sakina. With that said, see, we're all going to gather around and support. So, thank you so much for those words, Janae. Uh,
Yes.
I know you told your story over and over and over, but I just want you to organically come out.
Mhm.
We're sitting talking to you, and tell us about what was it about him in the first place that's got these women still in under a spell. What was it about him that drew you to him?
Um, like you said before, charisma. Narcissists have to have that to draw people in. And I'm going to go off of what Goddess Ray had just said. Basically, those two women who spoke for him, I'm going to say these words, but I do not feel that about them. They were the bottom of the barrel when it came down to him.
Yeah.
They were the most abused. Kayla Buckner, which is going by Efru,
Mm.
and Jayon Marie Hamilton, going by Zoka. Those were the two that went through miscarriages and abortions.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the ones that got something taken from them. So they are the most dedicated because they are still looking for emotional equity. They're trying to get something from him that he can never give them, which is the true, genuine love that they felt for their children and the true, genuine love that he took from them. So those two were the most abused. He would always put Zoka in the corner. He battered and abused Ephru. Everyone saw it. I personally witnessed with my eyes Zoka get whipped with a belt,
Mm.
lashed
Mm.
because she spoke out of turn. So for them to come on here and said that he's not violent, there was no violence there, that wasn't an act. That was nothing towards entertainment. It happened behind closed doors when the cameras were off.
All right,
So
talk to us
I
about
come,
that, what we didn't see.
sorry, excuse me. Excuse me if I get emotional and I shake
No, you're
because
fine.
it is a lot that happened in carbonation. One
Mm.
of the instances I'm talking about right now is when he took a belt and whipped Malia, which is Tanisha Delay. I'm saying over 50 to 100 times.
Oh
And
my.
I witnessed it. Witnessed with my own two eyes and cried. So
Mm.
he had her, got wet. He whipped her, said, and told her to kiss our feet while he was whipping her.
Oh.
Say, tell them we're sorry. Tell them you're sorry. Tell them. Because before that, Tanisha tried to escape naked out the door because he was going to abuse her.
Who's Tanisha?
Because Tanisha, okay, I'm going to just use their cult names for people
Yes,
to
please
understand.
do that for us. Thank you.
Which is what the Tanisha is Malia, which is the queen of carbonation.
Mm.
So he battered the queen the most. Velvet, Malia,
Mm-hmm.
Yaya. The list went on. Even before that, when he didn't have the cult, he battered his baby mama.
Mm-hmm.
He whipped Malia because she was trying to escape naked. When she was naked, she tried to run out the door. He tackled her to the ground and brought her back upstairs, beat her some more. Told us all to go in the room and stand in a line. I was a
Mm.
part of this line and told Malia to kiss our feet, which she did. She kissed each and every one of our feet and said,
Mm.
I'm sorry. Then he continued to whip her. And he's doing this while whipping her with a belt. a leather belt.
Mm.
And basically, told her to get in the shower for a second to get wet, just for her to lay back on the floor and whip her while she's wet.
And that's a technique from children. Some people who know about whippings, some parents would say, wet yourself so it hurts more, so it stings more. But go on. I'm just letting people know. Keep going, please.
Yes.
I want people to
And
hear this. We're hearing the truth of why he's in, right, Miss Tiffany? This is why he's in prison for life. Okay?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Just let it.
absolutely why.
I'm sorry to stop your flow, but go ahead. He had her get wet so it can hurt more, basically.
But before that, it was probably over 50 times already. So she's
Mm.
getting whipped more. And to the point where before she wasn't showing any weakness. And he would do it until she showed weakness and cry. And do it and do it and do it until she had whips on her back. Like it was a lot. When he finally decided to stop, and before he decided to stop, he said, "Oh, this is starting to feel good." So he started whipping her and said, "Oh, I like this. I just am starting to feel good," and started whipping her harder.
Mm.
So when I saw that, everybody was petrified. No one was going to do nothing, because if we got a line, just like Zoka got whipped when she got a line just seconds ago, we would get whipped. So we just watched her get whipped, and she started to cry. She started to cry a little bit. So when he stopped, this is how he gets us now. He basically makes us go into love mode after the torture. Oh, everybody get up. She did this for our ancestors. She did it. She got the whippings for.
I want to jump in. Hold your thought. Do not lose it. This is a technique. Inflict the pain. This is MK Ultra. Inflict the pain, come in with the love. Inflict the pain, come in with the love. That really solidifies the fractaling of the mind, compartmentalizing. But go on, please.
It breaks you.
Absolutely.
That's what I said. He was breaking them. Yeah.
Yes. So continue. He beat her senselessly.
He beat her. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then basically told her to get up, and we all embraced her.
Mm.
Okay, let me ask you to pause for 1 minute, sister, and take a break for a minute. Breathe in and let me snap for a second. Because I just want to know who in the chat has not been in a bad relationship. Damn the cult. Who haven't been in a bad relationship while we asking, why was she there? Why was you there?
Yeah, no. We're not gonna, I know, Queen.
I just want her to breathe for a minute.
I wanted to say this, and I know you wanted to breathe. Please, Mots, be on extra high alert.
Okay, I'm not talking. I'm modding from right here. No. I've been in a bad relationship too, sister. Right? And I know they have too. So I don't know why I was there either.
Yeah.
Okay? Just like you. I don't know why I was there, but I was there. And he might have hit me a couple of times, and that's why I left. Okay? I'll let you know that, okay?
Can I say something just really, really quickly?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Cults, this is something we really need to educate ourselves on, because there's a lot of ignorance in regards to this particular topic. One book that I encourage, and I've offered it, I'm not offered it, but suggested it for Janae as well, Terror, Love, and Brainwashing. There's so much that we need to know about, so that we know how to be there for people who go through this, and not just people who go through this, but people who experience domestic violence, because the two are aligned in a lot of ways. But when people ask why she was there, please understand that this is not something that happens to somebody that's weak, to somebody that's dumb, to somebody uneducated, to somebody that has daddy issues. This happens to college educated people. This happens to people with high self-esteem. It just takes the right set of circumstances to get someone in these things. A lot of times people join these organizations believing that they are joining that they're going to be a part of a cause. There's always a cause.
So, and to do better, right, Ray? They have hearts to where they want to do better, correct?
Exactly. Like they think that they're going to grow, evolve in some way, and in the process also help others. This is not, people knowingly joining a cult, just in the same way that no one
gets in a relationship with an abuser. I say this all the time. Imagine if a man introduced himself to you and said, "Hey, my name is Johnny, and I just want to let you know that 3 months from now, you won't even recognize yourself. I plan to beat you within an inch of your life. I
Mm,
plan to break your self-esteem down to nothing. I plan to leave you a shell of the person that you are today. Nice to meet you." We wouldn't date that man.
mm.
So you have to understand that women, and then people say, "Oh, well, they heard the stories and blah, blah, blah." When narcissists are in control of the narrative, they can make you believe anything. That's why there are
I had to
that
drop a bomb on that. I had to drop a bomb on that one. Sorry. Sorry. Yes. Say that again about the power
It's
of
true.
the master manipulator, the
it's
narcissist.
true. Because so, for instance, like even with Janae, when they're in control of the narrative, they can make people believe anything. With Janae, for instance, like he would make her publicly say certain things to make people view her a certain way. And what that
Mm,
does is it kills their credibility, so that when
mm,
they do say truths about him, people don't believe them, or people have a bad idea of them. But Janae doesn't know in the moment that that's what he's doing to her, that he's trying to make her look bad, that he's trying to make her say things that will make people doubt her character. And so that's the thing that happened. Nature Boy had a platform, and he was able to control the narrative. He controlled the way that people viewed these
mm.
men and these women. And so people have to really educate themselves on this. But I'm Janae, go ahead. I'm so sorry. Oh,
Well, she probably stepped away for a second.
I'm sorry.
So interesting. I mean, so now what you're, the things that you're talking about, is it Raina, Raya, or Raina? I want to get the name right.
just Ray.
Ray. Okay. Um, it's interesting that you bring in, you starting off with the psychological piece, to this, showing behaviors and actions, and causes and effects,
Mm-hmm.
because even just saying socially, people want to connect with a common cause. So they don't realize it's a cult or cultish until they're actually all the way in it. They're like, yeah, hey, everyone, we have a common cause. Everyone believes what I believe. We're on the same page of things, only to find out it's really a tool used for manipulation. So it,
Exactly.
you
And
know,
they keep them destabilized so that
yeah,
they feel like they are all they have, but at the same time they make them not trust each other, so that they don't grieve, that they don't air their grievances to each other, so that no one starts speaking sense into each other. So for instance, he might tell somebody, "Oh, Janae doesn't like you," and then she'll go tell Janae, "Oh, they said this about you," or they create this destabilization, so that the people feel isolated from the people that love them and that can talk sense to them, but they also don't make them feel completely safe within that circle either.
Thank you so much. Listen, I love the wisdom of all of you coming in. And yes, it is a protective circle, but we're dealing with, like I said, she is very brave, and she doesn't it's not that she doesn't need our protection, but she's pretty strong, and she's for me a hero. So I jump in sometimes when I think I need to say something, but I'm gonna let her flow. I see you in the back, y'all. With the people in the back, I'm gonna bring you in. You can say a couple things, and then or ask some very appropriate questions. I'm not gonna tolerate any attacks or anything like that. If you have some genuine questions, come in. But for now, I'm going to hand the mic back over to her, because I didn't know that information about Malia getting beaten. We didn't see that on camera. There's a lot of stuff he didn't show on camera, right? Janae, go ahead and continue with what you're sharing with us.
Absolutely. And my apologies, Ray. Did you say something? Did you want me to go over something? Did you ask me something before I leave? Before I left?
Oh, no, no, no. I was just telling you to go ahead. I was done
Oh,
talking.
Okay, good. Okay. Yes, those two are holding on for dear life because they were treated the worst. There's a lot of things I could say that he made Ephru do that I witnessed. And there's a lot of things, we already know what he did to Zoka. He took her child and made her believe that it was a demon. He fed her poison, which was alcohol, throughout her pregnancy, even behind Solar's back, which was her husband at the time. So all this violence, that's the first lie I want to address that was said on Sonetta's show, is that no, he was not non-violent. He was definitely violent, and he covered it up as in the universe was doing this to us, or we're doing it to ourselves, or we're taking the whips or beatings for our ancestors. That's what he told everyone. He promoted violence, and it wasn't for show. It was never for show. It was our lives. And he got people to basically go along with the storylines that he would basically instigate. He would basically lie to, just like Ray said, make lies to us so we can go against each other. And he would make mockery of us every time we got on live. He would make a mockery of us to publicly humiliate us, to make sure that he can still have control over us. And a lot of people stayed because they didn't have anywhere else to go. He would make them burn their bridges with everyone that ever loved them while in the cult and before they even got into the cult. And he made sure that he would tell us, no one else loves you like I love you. He would tell Malia, no one else would love you. You ain't shit. You ain't you're not a bad bitch. You wouldn't be anyone or anything in Babylon. He tore her down the most because, in my belief, Malia is very strong. She was the strongest. She definitely did her best to escape many times. I don't know where she is now. Hopefully she's with her family and her friends and people who love her, but she has tried to escape many of times.
Let me get this straight. Just to ask you, I want you to keep flowing. So Malia left. She's gone.
I'm not sure where she is right now. I don't keep up with it, but I haven't seen her on the camera. And if she is the queen of carbonation, she is supposed to be on camera. He groomed her like that. He wanted her to be on the camera all the time, but she didn't necessarily want to be on the camera all the time. She didn't. So yeah, I'm not sure where she is now.
From what I saw, and you can talk to us about this, most of the carbonation stuff was based on sex and violence. That's what I took from it. Can you talk to us about people who don't know? Because again, he's being promoted as this black man that's being downtrodden. Was he what we would say deviant when he would engage? Because that's what he's in jail for, the revenge porn and the grape. Was it mostly like always he was always focused on sex, or what was the building about? That's what I want you to talk to the people about. What was his mission?
I don't know anymore. The mission was to collect the weak. Collect the elite and convict the weak. That's what we said a lot. We said he was supposed to unlock our dormant DNA and our genes, become like our godlike selves, and inspire others to do so as well. By tapping into Christ consciousness and eating right, being in nature, embracing nature, getting sun, all these modalities, everything that came together to make us godlike. And also practice morals. We had curriculum. We had a school. We did and I'm going to say we because I'm placing myself there in my mind as I talk to y'all, but I'm not in carbonation anymore.
I understand. And become, like I told you, don't go anywhere that you don't want to go. You understand?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I'll go there as many times as I need to speak the truth.
No, I don't need you to tell us what he told you guys his mission was. We want to hear what he really was doing, because all the stuff we've seen on camera, now these people that are trying to get him out of jail are trying to tell us that we're not seeing that this is about you. They're trying to say Yeah, it's not true. She's the new KKK. She's just against the black man. Did you love him?
I did. I loved him. I loved everyone in Carbonation. I loved everything about what we stood for, everything that we came together to build. And then he turns around. Once you get in there, when you're out of there, it's all glamour, glitz and gold, showing so many things and what they're doing on social media. You get there, it's a whole nother story. It's all about him and fulfilling his needs every single day without fail. His needs, his feet is getting washed, his face is getting washed, his teeth is being brushed, his clothes is being picked out, his food is being prepared, and his sexual desires, they were being met, regardless if you wanted to or not. He would take you out of the bed, excuse me.
Take your time,
Take you
please.
out the
Take your
bed.
time. Take your time.
Absolutely. He would get you out the bed when you're sleeping just because he wants to get his rocks off. And you have no choice. You have no choice. So, yeah, he was out for whatever he wanted. Whatever he wanted, he got because he was the king. And you had no say.
Talk to us about that night when, if you can, when I was telling the audience, you guys came on the show. He was like, I'm the God, I'm the God. I asked him, well, what about them? Then the coconut dropped. I got to manipulate. Let me go home. How did he, from the moment we were talking to him, making him look like who he is on the show, when he was saying, I'm the God, and then people were looking at him, well, what about the ladies? The time in between there and you two, I want to talk about how I saw the light come on in your eyes. That is amazing, panel. From that moment, how did he try to reprogram all of you very quickly? Because that's all he was doing. When he started saying, who wants to be the goddess? He worked with you first. I know that because he saw you were like, oh, shoot, she's waking up. Am I wrong? Like he was telling you you're going to be the goddess or something like that. Talk to us from the moment he was on that panel and then he came home. What happened during that time?
Okay. So before I even get to any of that, I want to say thank you, Nepal.
I love
You
you.
woke me up that day. And I swear to God, if I didn't get that woken up, I probably would still be there.
Oh, I love you so much. She's beautiful.
And I'm just saying that from the bottom. And I say that every time. I will say this every time. Nepal woke me up. She broke the spell that day. Because when she asked those questions, and he was just looking all flustered and he had no idea what to say. He was doing all this stupid stuff. Something clicked. Something clicked in my mind and I couldn't even hide it on my face on that panel. You're going to have to replay that one day, but on my face, I was just like, this guy is a baby. He's not God. He's not a God. He's just a baby. He doesn't know how to wield his own power. Right. So when that day you did that and that happened, when the camera went off, everybody was quiet and just looking at him. And he was just so full of himself saying, oh, y'all just looking at me because, I'm your God and everything like that. I'm just looking at, and I'm sitting here laughing. I swear I'm laughing at things because I'm just like, this is a joke. You made us look like a joke in front of the whole conscious community. We're supposed to be the elite. We're supposed to be the people that's bringing together and oneness and the Black people together, making change with our music. And you don't even know what to say when the goddess approaches you. Why are you three God? Why is this happening? So it started to click into my head. But here's the thing. I feel like for some days, like 1 or 2 days, he was just all, a little bit goofy, trying to get with the tribe, just connecting with them again. And then he turned back into this three God character. It started to bully me. He was really bullying me and singling me out a lot. I remember he put me in the corner that day that I was supposed to be going on your show. It was 30 minutes before your show. I was in the corner.
Wow.
And because he saw me as a threat.
Yes.
He saw me as somebody that was different from the rest because I was able to see past it, but I was still in it. I don't know how to explain that. I was able to see things, but I was still in it and being dedicated. But he wanted me to fully commit it to him. So he would try to break me down.
Yeah.
And that's when afterwards, like 2 days after your show, when someone else came over and we're all partying and having a great time, he saw me mingling with this woman that came over, and she's not a part of the cult, but I was basically mingling because I didn't want her to feel like an outcast. I felt like it was my duty to make her feel warm and welcome in our culture. That's what we thought it was. That's what I thought it was. So I guess he got jealous or he got upset and called me a leech and start saying that every time someone comes over, you're just all over them and all this other stuff, as if it's wrong for me to be loving and nurturing and just caring. And that's when he started to try to insinuate violence from the other women, telling them it's basically okay, telling Zoka, if Zoka's go ahead and slap you, then it wouldn't be nothing. Basically insinuating like, you gonna get slapped for defying me. I tried not to speak out against him, but I have a voice, and I've always had a voice in carbonation, in my opinion, to where I would stand up to him sometimes. Excuse me. I would stand up to him sometimes. And what basically happened that night is that he gave Zoka the go ahead to smack me. So for her to come up on here and say that there was no violence, she was the one who smacked the shit out of me. Excuse my language. But it was hard, very hard, and multiple times. So yeah, that night he insinuated violence and told the women it was okay to gang up on me, basically. I didn't get hit multiple times by all women at once, but I did get smacked up by Zoka and pushed as well. So by Eferu. So yeah, that's
So let
what
me ask you
happened.
a question right fast until Nepal comes back. So I imagine it's like walking on eggshells every day. Did you ever not once feel, I mean, like, were you ever comfortable, or was it always that feeling when you got there all the way until you left, like always walking on eggshells?
It was always eggshells for everyone. Because one day he would say one thing and the next it would be a whole nother thing. And you're just like, I thought we were doing this. And then you get in trouble for doing what he told you to do. It was very confusing, you never know when he's going to take or when he's going to have a bad day. The teddy bear act, like he's just so sweet and gentle, and that's what kept us in. Knowing that he can switch back to that, knowing that one day he will be good with us again. But majority of the days it was just like he was always like
Confused.
something. Yeah, it was very confusing for us. I know that for sure.
Yeah. So was he just nice when the cameras were rolling, and then after the cameras were off, then he went into, because from what we saw, because I've seen it too, and it seems like that he, had these. I mean, and for me, he was doing it all for the camera, but the so-called epiphany. So in the beginning, he was this type of man, this type of nature boy. Then he switched again, and he was that kind of nature boy. Then towards the end, now all of a sudden he's three-eyed, and he has lost all of his marbles. So was there ever a
Yeah.
time in any of that where he was himself, or he just pretended the entire way through?
I don't know who his real self is. It
Mm.
was always different personalities, and with those different personalities will come different dresses or garments, hats. It was always something different. So even if I want to believe that I knew him truly, I can't say it was his true self because of all these other personalities that he had.
Right. I want to thank you for that question that you asked her, Gemini. I want to get back to you talking about specifically because they're trying to get him out of jail, which isn't, it's not going to happen. But the thing they're doing is like the Dr. York thing, where all these children were raped by Dr. York, essayed. Yet he still has his followers out here saying, "Don't believe any of these people. Just he's the greatest." Can you talk to us about you? What do you want to defend yourself? Not that you need to do so with this community right here, this group, but just for those out there who are trying to paint you as this woman who was scorned or working for COINTELPRO or whatever, this woman who just wanted to bring down a great Messiah. Can you talk to us about what, not, you don't have to go into detail if you want to, but what happened from the beginning when the act that he did, if you could just talk to us about that as much as you can handle, because I don't want to give you too much. I know, because this is real trauma. I don't want to open up so much, but you are an advocate, so I have to say all that. Talk to us about what happened that night, and in between there when you went to the police, and then up to the trial. You get what I'm saying, sweetheart? Goddess, I want them to hear from you what happened and what ended him up in jail.
Okay. All right. So the night, I'm going to do my best because there's a lot. So I'm going to do my best to summarize it in a way.
And do you mind if I put you on the big screen? I like putting on the big, you're drop dead gorgeous, but I'm going to just put you on the big screen.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you. Appreciate it. So the night that I was essayed, I was first beaten, ridiculed, basically just humiliated in front of the whole cult. They all said bad things to me, and basically told me that I wasn't basically what I am, which is a goddess. And so when I wanted to leave, I stood my ground, because when that's happening, it's a test. So when they do that, it's up to you to basically beg for your stay back and realize that you ain't shit, basically, excuse my language, but you ain't nothing. And you need to go along with what he says and just apologize and beg for your stay back. I wasn't having that. So I was just like, I'm just going to still leave. So I got my bags packed with all this was going on. I explain more in my book, but just to summarize, I got all my bags packed and ready to go. I left majority of my clothes because I came there with everything that was in my room, everything that I have, everything that I am, I came with. But I just decided, because I was being told that I ain't shit for taking my clothes back, that, it's okay. I can get it right back. I can get everything right back. God got me. And I'm going to take a leap of faith and get on out. I barely had any money, but I texted somebody and she gave me money instantly. I didn't even have to say, give me money. I just said hello and she gave me money. So I was able to get a ride back, but this was after the essay. Before then, I only had like $6 in my account, and I used 4 of it to get to the nearest CVS with an Uber, or tried to. And basically, I took my stuff downstairs. When the Uber came, this was after the women was taking a charger from me and basically saying that that's not yours, so you don't get to keep it. So the Uber came. I went towards the Uber with no shoes on. I said I'll just put my shoes on in the car. And basically, Zilker told me that, hey, the king is calling back for you. The king is calling. Are you going to answer the call? The king is calling you. Are you going to answer the call? So basically, in my mind, in my cult mentality and my loving heart, I said, okay, I'm going to go say a final goodbye and then leave. So basically, I went to Nature Boy, which was at the top of the stairs, and I gave him a hug goodbye. And he told me he loved me. And I said, I love you too, and I'm going. So as I'm trying to leave the premises, he basically calls my name again and takes me by the hand. And he starts taking me into the next room. At that point, I'm crying out, no. I'm saying no. I'm crying out, no. Here's the thing. Not a lot of people is paying attention because they just already assume that he's going to try to talk to me and keep me there like he always do with every other member or something. They wasn't paying attention. But at that moment, I was already saying no and crying at this point. No, I cried and I'm telling him I don't want to do anything. I want to leave, please. And he got me to the room, locked the door, and I'm crying in his arms at this point. Kept on telling him no, I don't want to do anything. Summarizing that whole thing, basically, I was SA'd. Basically, I kept telling him, I don't want to do anything, please. And he said, oh, I'm not going to rape you. That point, it was a trigger in my mind. You know, I don't want no problems. If he's saying, oh, and he's telling me all these other things. Oh, it's just one more last time. You know, you're mine. You know, all these things to try to get me to stay. At that point, I'm like, okay, if it's just one more time, and then I'm gone, that's it. So that's what happened when he did that.
And wait,
and I said it's going to be one more time.
Freeze. I'm not going to take up the big. That is what happens. And Ray talked about it. I've talked about it many times in other streams. That is not consensual. That is an escape tactic, like cutting your arm off to get from, if your arm is trapped underneath somebody, get what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I'm consenting to this. It's, if I do this, I can go. I need to clarify that with anyone who's like, oh, got her. She said, so go ahead. I just wanted to clarify that as far as the cult and the way things go with these abusers. That was her escape mechanism. That is not consent. Continue, goddess. Continue, Janae. And take, if you need a minute, I'll take off the big screen for a second, sweetie. Yeah, this is very serious. I mean, anyone not understanding, this isn't an act. This isn't COINTELPRO. We've got real victims of Nature Boy. And she's for her to recap this. I really have never asked her to come in and recap. And to be honest, I think for me, that's what she's given is so much more than enough. But I'm going to bring, if you want to come in when you're ready, when you turn your camera on, Janae, I'll let you continue. But let me go ahead and let somebody weigh in on what you just a little bit you've heard. Anybody come in while we let her just take a minute, because she said a lot.
She did. She really honestly did. Let me just say this, because it's like when, first of all, I really want to just apologize to the chat, because when people act like they have never made an honest mistake about a bad choice. People have got in relationships and prior to marriage. We can't act like just because she said cult makes her different, but her story is not different. We all have made mistakes. Her story is not no different than a bad relationship. It's just not fun when the rabbit got the gun. It's just because she was in a cult. The cult was the culture.
Right.
And that was not her culture.
Thank you. Exactly. That was a cult. And thank you for saying that and defending her. We have your back over here, and the entire group, this is the toughest environment, but we need to know when to be the most loving. It's interesting because over there, when we were talking to the other two sisters who really need help, just like everyone does, but are still attacking the people who should be embracing. People got it when Sonetter said, meet them where they are, take kid gloves. So I'm going to ask the audience members who are out there saying, oh, she did this. This sister's been through hell.
Yes.
And she's a beautiful young woman. We know the issues with people, what they go through when we talk about it and there's no face. But now we have somebody up here who actually is a victim, and I can take you off the big screen, Janae. Um, let's be compassionate over here for a second. Nobody needs to. You don't need to say, "Well, I can't say what I want." No, today you can't say what you want. You're not doing that to her. Okay. So I love you, but here we have Sonetter in the back.
And Nepal, if I may,
Yes, Ray, please.
um, when people ask whether he deserves life in prison for what he did, these scars that these people have, these people will never be able to tell their story without mentioning Eligio Bishop. Do you
Mm.
realize that? These people will never be able to tell their story without mentioning this part of it. This is something that they will carry for the rest of their lives. They may not carry it the same way. It may not be as triggering and it may not be as hurtful, but these are scars that you carry for the rest of your lives. They will show up in the way that they raise their daughters.
Hey, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I gotta say this real quick. Where's my mods at? Why y'all letting Keon spam the chat like that? He's spamming the chat. Y'all gotta let him know that's not a good look. That's not good. You can't spam the chat. Where the mods at? I'm sorry, sister. I had to cut you off real quick because I'm gonna get back to doing what I was doing. But Nepal, the two sisters I had on earlier would like to come in. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. This is your show. But I think it would bring. I think it would make the show even better. Bomb. They would like to come in and defend themselves, but it's up to you though. This is your show. That's what they called me and said, is it possible that they could come in too? And they would like to defend themselves as well. So it's up to you.
Thank you for saying that, Sonetter, and I appreciate you letting us reach a large audience with this. It's really up to Janae, number one, but I will tell them if they're listening. You will not get babied. Sonetter's leaving the panel.
I already told them. No, I told them.
I will not. I'm going to be fair to let you speak, but when you start promoting Nature Boy and talking about how great he is and she's the devil, you will get stopped by not just me, by Sakina Ra, by Gemini, by Ray. You won't be able to do that over here.
But see, I told them the part. I said, you sure you want to go up there? It's hostile. They said they
It's
ready.
not hostile though, King. It's not hostile.
But when they get up here, we'll be hostile.
They won't. What will happen is they won't be able. They'll have to face this. Look, to be honest, I'm going to let Janae make the choice. But when they get up here, they're going to have to face the truth. And what's going to happen is they're going to get away from Nature Boy. And so I'm going to tell you this, my loves. If you're ready to leave Nature Boy alone, come in here. We're ready for you. We love you.
Right. So there it is. Let me go. And
I'm not saying they have to leave them alone to get in here, but I'm saying once you get in here and you start thinking and you see your divinity, then you're going to say, why was I want to be like Janae. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say, I want to grow into my own godhood. So sure.
That's good. That's good.
It's up to her.
Peace and blessings to the ladies. I'll see y'all later. Great show.
And you can send them the link if she says, okay, I don't know. It's up to her. It is her show too. Just like I got cut off.
Yeah.
She's the one that we're listening to. This is her show.
Hey, Nepal, I can't believe this. Let me tell you this. I'm going right now. Man, Cynthia called me, man.
Shout out to my sister, Cynthia.
She told me, yo, why you cutting Nepal off? Why you ain't let her finish speaking? Now I see what she's talking about. I said, what are you talking about, man? He said,
I love you, Cynthia.
What you talking about. And then I got another call from somebody else that said the same thing. I said, oh man, y'all teaming up on me now. All right. It was another sister. But anyway, peace, y'all.
It's okay. See, this is what they were talking about, lady. It's okay, King. Ladies, when you heard the girl say ride or die, and you got to find the right person to ride or die for as the goddess, you got to know what man you should be handing your divinity over to just for a loan, though. It's not like, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I'm going to ask Janae. Janae, and I see brothers back there. There's some brothers backstage. We got Solar, No Saint, Keon. I see you brothers back there, but I want to ask Janae real quick. I appreciate your patience. I promise you're going to get to come in. But I want to ask you, do you want them to come in and just say, I got this under, don't worry. I got the mute button ready. I got whatever. It's up to you if you want them to come in.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if it's within law, but hey, if they have nothing to
She's
lose.
all look at her still helping them out. Come on in. They probably gonna say, "Well, wait a minute," but come on in. But this isn't an attack on them. We
Mhm.
actually are in defense mode, meaning we're telling the truth when the sisters start saying, "Oh, she's a villain and she's the KK, she's the new KKK." Rejected. Okay,
But I
right,
would ask,
ladies?
is there a restraining order against them? Do you have a legal restraining order against them? That's the
Oh
reason
no,
why.
I don't. No, I
All right.
never. Even though they attempted to, they actually did not even attempt to repost the revenge porn.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
never,
they
you
did.
know, yeah, absolutely during the
Oh, we got to
trial.
talk about that because I'm a victim of that too with the internet. I'm a whore because they're sharing and selling my private stuff. So I want to talk to you about that. What
Yeah.
happened with that situation? I dropped the link for them, Sonetter. She said it's okay; they can come in, but we're going to get back to focusing on what she's been saying. What happened with that? They went, and I see a lot of women do that. In fact, I saw a sister in the chat named May the Alchemist when that man, I'm not going to give him the benefit, when that man was selling my pictures on the internet and people were paying. I'm talking about people who call themselves scholars and leaders paying to see my private revenge porn.
Oh my God.
May the Alchemist, you were in there cheering him on, and you were one of the number one customers. But guess what, sister? I love you. I summer jammed your nice comment. That's the divine feminine that they're talking about. You're not supposed to be forgiving everybody and anybody who's on a complete rampage to destroy the entire community. But I'm just saying, this revenge porn thing, I want you to talk about how the sisters were resharing it and how he even did you. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. When I left the cult, I escaped, basically meaning that I left when everyone was asleep, and I didn't make any notice because after the essay, he told me that I wasn't going anywhere and I was his bitch and I was his property. So even if when I was telling him I still wanted to go, even after he essayed me, he saw that he still didn't have any control over me. So he said, "Nah, you ain't going anywhere." So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna have to escape." In my head, of course, but I just saved face, smiled to everyone, that night and went to sleep. And when everyone was asleep, and the only one that was awake was Zoka, and she was in the shower, I escaped. I left and I went to, stay at my homegirl's art studio. So on a couch in an art studio because I didn't know where to go. Um, so after that, I went to a spa. It's called Jeju and it's 24 hours. So I was able to go there just to heal, meditate, reflect, and just get right with God. And I saw that people were saying online, because people were bringing it to my attention. I have people who have eyes for me, thank God for them, brought to my attention that I was being I was being basically talked about online, saying that I might still be in the cult, and I wondered why people was thinking that. So I went to look online, and I think it was SL Davis's videos when she was doing carbonation content. uh, he basically put up the revenge porn on me while I was gone. Basically re-uploading things that was taken down off of Twitter, and that's what made people think I was there. And when I saw that, I didn't know what to do. I felt like I didn't have my life. I felt like he still had control of me wherever I went. Even if I left, he would try to pull me back in because he was humiliating me. So he thought that if she's humiliated enough, she'll come crawling right back to me. And that wasn't the case. So I was told by one of my dear friends that I can press charges for that. And so I did. And here we are at the trial when everything was going down about going on 3 years ago. Um, To defend Eligio Bishop, the women decided to say, we're the ones that posted it. We are the ones. When everyone know he was the only one that had those videos in his phone. So they took those videos and said, look, we're taking the charges. We're doing it. We did it. We did it. And they uploaded it while trial was going on.
Oh
So
my. Oh yeah. So now I see they said they were taking the fall. Well, they were taking the fall. So he actually obviously did it, of course. They didn't
yeah,
have any power to do anything like that. They would
no.
have to get the okay from him. I mean, one minute they say he's God and he rules everything and he's a power. Then they're like, "Oh, we did it. Which one is it?" So, um I want to see. I don't know if they're coming in. I don't know what they're doing. It's not. I'm really not. I'm telling you, I'm not going to attack them, but I'm really not worried if they come in or not. They said enough over there for me, and I need Janae to get to our audience. I care about our audience. I care about everybody in the that's listening, but especially our people because some of them don't even follow the story. Janae and everybody, when you first came on, I never really even researched. I knew about Nature Boy, the little bit here and there, but then when I actually was doing the research to see, before the interview, I was like, he's got to go. We weren't even gonna. Let me talk about that. We weren't even gonna do a so-called beat up session. We were just bringing him on. He wanted to talk, and then so I always do a little research to do interviews. When I started pulling up the videos, I was like, "This is a monster. This man is abusing these women and these men." Can you talk to us about that too, Janae? What about the men? And I see Solar's around it. Solar, I see in the back.
Can
If
you
it's
put him up?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to bring him up. I can bring him up right
Mhm.
now. I want you
Yeah.
both to peace, Solar,
Mhm.
and then also you guys. I see the brothers have been waiting so long. I'm going to bring them up one at a time. Let them ask a question of either two of you or both of you. You know what I'm saying, and then I'll let them go. But Solar, thank you for joining. Thank you for waiting. I'll start with, I think Keon was Cube left. So I don't know which one it was. I'll bring Keon up in a minute to ask a question. But Solar, before I do that, peace to you. Talk to us about you're like, I've been waiting to say something. Say what you need to say that you've been waiting in the back. But I do want you to come in and talk to us about how he seemed to be always competing, especially with you, any woman that liked you, any woman that wanted to be with Zoka. I know that I watched Janae that next day. He played with her because he's so insecure. He's like, so would you be with so? And she's like, she was in her divine feminine, and she's like, well, yeah, if you want to push me, in a nutshell, he was pushing her to say, I'm attracted to Solar. In a nutshell, you remember that moment. And that's when his ego was like, I must humiliate her. So, Solar, I noticed that happens with you. I want you to come in and talk about what he did to you and say whatever you've been waiting to say. Uh, thank you. Peace.
Well, thank you for having me up here. Peace to everybody
Mhm.
on here, all the beautiful women here. Shout out to Janae as much as Nepal. I didn't really know much about Nepal, so we'll just start by saying that. So thank you and gratitude and praises to the Most High. So,
Yes.
you know, I'm gonna keep it relevant because there's so much to say. So with that, I want to bring awareness to people of how much they may not actually know about the situation. Only way to do that is to tell them about it to a degree. So to keep it relevant, what you may not know about Zoka and Efru is that Efru, I was with Efru first. Efru was my first girl. I convinced her to come.
Wow.
I'm the one who got her to go there. She didn't want to go initially. She was in college. She owned her own business, and I was the one telling her like, "Come on, let's do this. Let's change the world. Let's show them how we can live in alignment with nature. We can change the way we eat, think, reprogram ourselves subconsciously, and show them a new way." And I convinced her to come. She didn't fit very well with me once me and her were together. We did our thing real quick. When we got there, I gave her gifts, showered her with gifts and a lot of love. And we realized that we would be better friends very early. And so she ended up moving on to being with Eligio, and then another one of the cult members, and then back to Eligio once that didn't work out. But she would constantly go between them. Zoka is another woman who I convinced to come as well. I would say that she was already, in a sense, would have been on her way anyway, but I met her before Eligio had ever met her, and we were doing lives, and they were doing lives, she was a no face person for a long time, and it was always this mission. So what they say about carbonation and why did everybody go? Everybody went for different reasons. Yes, when we look at it in retrospect, they're rooted in traumas. My trauma, why I would have went, was because I wanted a family. I wanted brothers. I wanted sisters. I wanted friends who thought the way that I thought, who could see past the surface of the matrix that we live in, and wanted to do something about it. And I went because I felt like Eligio was somebody who might be able to understand what I understand and how I think. So Zoka was another person like this. She's from LA, and I was speaking with her for a while. And after a lot of different situations, a long time, and we were in Panama, I went and picked her up from the airport, and me and her were just absolutely in love for so long. Before, after, I would be on the phone with her all night. I'd sneak away from the group just to go be on the phone with her. And, after a while, we finally got the approval for her to come. And so we picked her up from Panama City, and that's when she joined. And the thing about, and Zoko's been my main wife, that child that everybody speaks on, that, he poisoned, behind my back as well, which I found out after I left. I'm the father of that child. And, while everybody was calling that child a demon and everyone was being told that and convinced of that, me and Zoka are having private talks all the time where I'm reassuring her that is not the case. He's just saying that for the people. He's just trying to get attention. We have a beautiful child. And Eligio would tell us on the side as well, like, Solar, come here, man. Let me talk to you. Look, you really think that I think your child's a demon? You are the smartest man I got here. We need as many solars as possible. As a matter of fact, I need you to have as many wives as possible. And he would tell me this. And I'm like, oh, this is just a show for the people. Oh, we good. We're good. And so I'm moving forward with this thinking everything's cool. So I share that trauma with Zoka of our loss. A full 9 months, me thinking everything's perfectly healthy. And then in Puerto Rico, we have a stillborn child. I held my first child ever in my arms with no breath. And the doctors came to me on the side. This is something y'all may not know. I spoke on this before though. The doctors came and spoke to me on the side, and they said, hey, look, we want you to know that the child was almost made it. It was very close to making it, but the placenta was poisoned. So do you know if she was drinking any alcohol, if she was doing any drugs, if she may have had any medications? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. And in the back of my mind, while I'm saying that to the doctors, I'm like, poisoning, huh? And when Eligio called and I let him know the news of what happened, he tried to say things like, see, I told y'all you should have never been together. She should have been with me. Y'all shouldn't have been together. This universe showing y'all shouldn't have been together. And I immediately, like, I cussed him out real quick. And I said, you know exactly what happened and why it happened, and I hung up on him. And he kept calling. I just turned the phone off because I didn't have time for the games in that moment. And he gave me this very hostile energy. He's like, well, we're gonna see what happens when we get back to the house. We went back to the house, nothing happened. But that's the relationship that I have with Eferu and Zoka, the two that are still there.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot
So
of people
you
don't
were
know
with
that.
both of them.
Yeah, first, I was
Okay.
with Janae last, and Janae was in a polygamous relationship with me and Zoka at one point in time when we first met. And
Okay.
Janae knows our love story. It goes pretty deep, And what most people know about me and Janae and Carbonation is that she would always come back just to be with me, and that's very true, and that's exactly what has happened. And Janae played a critical role in me leaving. Even though years I'm arguing with him for last 2 years of me being there, I'm arguing with him every night about what's true and what's not true. because I know the truth in my heart, and I'm always telling him like, bro, that's not true. So I'm arguing with him all the time, and I'm trying to support the family. I'm trying to support the group. I feel like they need me. I'm staying because they need me, not because of him, not because he's right. He's always trying to run some gimmick, always something new. It's always some gimmick, and I'm his right hand guy, so I'm always trying to help him be successful with whatever we're trying to do, so we can get the notoriety we need to get the message out to as many people as possible, a divine message. However, I didn't really realize how much he was actually just working for himself. So, Janae, when she did what she did, I was actually helping him get lawyers, helping him do everything. I gave him heads up about the warrants. I told him everything that was about to happen. He didn't care. He felt like he was immune. Eventually, it all came down, and I'm holding the whole family together myself while he's not there. I'm telling the guys what to do. I'm telling the girls what to do. We're moving things around in the house, getting him lawyers, calling friends, getting money, you know, trying to make him a sovereign citizen and all these different things.
So you
Putting
helped him a lot. You helped him as a
that
friend.
that was my
Yeah,
role.
it seems like everybody. Thank you for sharing that with us, Solar, especially the information about your connection with the women that he. It seems like he had. Well, not seems. He
No,
did
they're
have
the only ones
he
left.
had a habit of taking everybody's wife when they showed up on Carbon Nation's doorstep. I do need to bring the brothers in. They've been waiting. Um, you've heard from Janae and also Solar. If you want to come in and add or say, ask any questions that we maybe missed, I'm going to start with Keon. Please feel free to do so. I'll start with Keon and then move on to, I think, Seven and No Saint. Y'all work that out who comes after. Keon, thanks for joining. What would you like to add or ask?
All right. Peace to y'all. Peace to you, Nepal. Peace to you,
Please.
Janae, Solar. Definitely, definitely. Look, I
Peace,
wanted
man.
to start off saying this, right? Because I'm reading the chat, and it seems like people are mad that you guys got out of the cult. And this is what's kind of say pissing, because this is pissing, it's kind of pissing me off. These people went through their journey, went with what they went through, and they got out of it, and they're here today to tell their story. So we should be able to give thanks to God or whatever entity you believe in, that they are here today and able to tell their story. So it's kind of crazy what I'm seeing in chat, but regardless of that, we're just going to go ahead and continue on. Janae, Solar, I've followed y'all story for a very long time, even before the guy got where he's at now. So I do, Solar, especially with you, Solar, right? And I do just want to put it on record, ask this question on record. If you don't feel comfortable, you ain't got to. I'm not here to attack you. I promise you, I'm a genuine person. But for the people, for the HOK audience, things of that nature, I do want to ask you, were there any participation between either one of you when it came to the abuse of the other participants in the cult?
So luckily, it would have been easy how that would have happened. So the men, the same way Eligio did with the women, as far as telling people to slap other people, that's what a lot of people did. A lot of people would get ordered at different times. Hey, you go slap him. Hey, you go slap him, and the
Mm.
girls would go and do that to each other. So he did that. He had the girls slapping on the other girls, and he had the guys slapping on the other guys. Now, no one ever slapped me, and he never asked me to slap nobody. But I will say this: the only time it ever happened to me was when we did it on camera, and he did kind of whisper, he's like, I'm gonna slap you," and he slapped me like unnecessarily hard.
Mm.
And it was because he was doing this whole show, this little show he was doing, and he asked me
Yeah,
to bring
yeah,
him a hat, and he's like, "No, I don't want that hat. I want the other hat. What's wrong with you?"
yeah,
And he
yeah,
slapped me over. It was like some weird stuff. So it was a weird moment. I didn't want to cause a scene or anything, and that's when they say we were actors. That whole actors thing is completely a guise for
yeah,
abuse because it happens when the camera's off.
yeah.
Most of the
Wow.
time, it rarely happened when the camera was on. It happened when the cameras were off. So the
The violence, you're
acting,
saying, right? The
all the
violence.
violence, and
Yeah,
So, yeah.
the violence as far as the slapping is minimal compared to what the women actually went through. The men didn't
Mm,
go through much at all.
mm.
Two men got slapped by Eligio. Three men got, well, four men got slapped by Eligio collectively, and the women endured abuse for years regularly. And the
Yeah.
narrative is the white man is your real man if you think you can go run to the police because the black man's not your man. The white man is your man because you belong to the system if you're going to use the system against me. So I could actually kill you out here in the jungle. This is my world. This is the black man's world. So the reality is I'm here to protect you. So I'll kill you if you even make me mad or if you go against our ways.
Hmm.
That is the mentality that was pressed on everybody early in the journey. And
Right.
they
And
went with it.
Solar, hold that exactly right there. That whole it is true that the black man and the white I don't know, Ray, y'all are so quiet. Please, anybody, Ray, jump in. But and I am going to let the brothers ask, but you don't have to just cut me off if you need to. Believe me, I've been cut off way worse than you could ever cut me
Hey,
off.
well then shout out to Ray for the
You know
psychology
what I'm
because
talking
Ray,
about. No,
you've been on
Yeah.
no. So anyway, they are we understand the dynamic of the social constructs and the oppression of black men, and we understand it, but what he did was twist it and implant in their minds. That's the narrative they keep going around saying, well, they're trying to tear down the black man. Don't you guys want to help the black man? So when you mention that, how he says if you run to get the authority on him, and guess
He'll
what?
kill you.
So I want to, Janae, please add on to that. Yeah, because that seems like the only authority
well,
God that he
Nepal.
listens to. He listens
Nepal.
to the white
I,
man,
I
right?
gotta say something about
No,
that
no
Q
offense, no say. You know
because
the powers that be. Go
Q
ahead,
you
Solo.
said
Then I
something
want Janae to go.
Q I felt it when Q said it. He said, "Ain't nobody gonna stand up for the divine masculine." I am real quick because the black man we're talking about is the black man that educates, is the black man that protects, is the black man that builds the world, starting with himself. You cannot build a world or do things better than what you're doing for yourself. We're not talking about a hurt, traumatized dude with you melanin, with dark blue, blue black you melanin. Just because you have that melanin type does not mean that you've healed yourself or you are not acting out of traumas and inflicting those traumas on other people. We're not talking about traumatized black men. When we say the black man, we mean the black king. When we say divine masculine, we mean the man who has learned how to balance himself with his own feminine energy. The divine
Mm.
masculine is in balance with his own feminine energy and can control his emotions and
Thank you, Solar.
is aware of his emotions, holds emotional intelligence, and realizes that, hold on, before I do this, I might be inflicting my own traumas onto my own people. So let me take a moment and get myself right first. Let me ask for help. Let me see what I can do better instead of oppression. We're not talking about that, black man.
Okay, thank you so much, Solar. And I see the ladies joined us. I'm gonna let Janae go, and then please, Seven Asar. Yes, I'm gonna let Janae speak behind what we just were talking about. Thank you for joining
Joining
us.
us.
Somebody's echoing.
Somebody's echoing.
So if you could just mute out while I'm talking. Thank you for joining us. I am so sorry. I cannot. I always knew her as Fufu. What? How do you say your name again?
It's Efru. I just
Eferu. Eferu. Okay.
Efru. I just
Eferu.
got questions. That's it.
Peace,
And
Efferu.
you know what? You can definitely come in and we want you to have this. Nobody's gonna beat you up. We're just gonna not sugarcoat things, but I'm just letting you know you're not gonna get we're not it's love in here. You're not going to get dragged. I don't like Eligio for what he did to you, but I understand you have love for him, so I'm just letting you know that. But what I didn't want to see is Janae villainized, because this is your sister, and I'm going to let you speak in a minute, but I want to get her to respond to what the question that Keon asked, what Solar had said. Then after you do that, Janae, I want to bring in Seven Asar with this question, no saint, and then we will let the sister definitely come in. Eferu. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Janae.
I don't know what to say. I don't know if there was any question asked to me
He basically about just anything you wanted to respond. He was asking, did you ever
about their
did you do any violence yourself?
Or
no,
actually, with
about
you, Janae,
anything.
right? Can
Hmm.
I actually? Let me ask you a more specific question. Have you
Uh-huh.
have you? Well, actually, I you you technically, right, you've been technically beat up by like 4 or 5 different women at a time, right? That was one of your stories, right?
No, I said that I was particularly hit by Zoka and pushed by Eferu, threatened by Sheba at the time. Her name is was Sheba. But I wasn't attacked as a group by all the women at once. I spoke that earlier. I said that earlier.
That would have been
Um,
Malia, right? She's the
That's
one
Malia.
that was
Right.
yeah,
Malia.
Amelia. So there is a video out there that Amelia was basically having a traumatic breakdown outside. And in that video, I was basically hugging her down like this and partaking in the bashing of words. I was screaming at her, and I'm not proud to say it because as it actually happened. Um, I was partaking in the verbal abuse when it comes down to that, and I was told to go hit her, but I've never hit her. I've never hit anyone in that cult.
And you were directed to do the holding and the verbal. Was that a
I was
direction?
directed to go get her and
Okay.
go beat her ass,
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh
but
man.
So
I
thank
Can
did.
you.
I ask? Can I ask something?
Sure. I was just gonna
That sounds
say.
about right.
I want everybody to just meet out for a second. Now, Eferu, go ahead. You can ask a question, but if you want to respond to that, you
Yeah,
can
I didn't.
definitely do so. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to understand because from my perspective, Natiri, you were screaming on her saying, you know what? Okay, when I heard the detective interview, you said that you gave it to him because you cared about him. That's emotion. That's feelings. That's seeing him and knowing him for who he truly is, who sparked you to go to Thailand in your journey. You seeing who he truly is. So I'm trying to figure out how did it go from that to this? From his whole life, sentenced to life plus 10 years. Do you think that was necessary?
Okay,
At
Eferu,
least.
Absolutely,
real
At
quick,
least.
Janae.
absolutely.
Hold on. We're gonna have her address. You have two questions, so
I
let
have
us
two
let
more
her.
too. I have two
Okay,
more.
let me let her address the first question about did you said you love him because that's important. I'm sure she wants to touch on
And
that. Go
one more
ahead.
to add to that. One more
Yeah,
to get
hold
it
it.
together.
So she won't forget. Let's let her answer that question, and then you can come in and continue. So she was asking you why did if it wasn't if you say it wasn't consensual, right, Eferu?
Say you
Why
gave
did
it
you
to
say you
him.
love him? Can you explain that to her in the audience? I'm going to let you take your time.
Yeah. Um, Basically, when I told the police that I gave it to him because I cared about him, we all have, especially cult members, have a sense of loyalty to us a degree, even though it hurts us. So even in that moment, I was trying to, in a way, protect him, but at the same time, I wasn't. So in that sense, yeah, I do care. I did care about Eligio, but it doesn't negate the fact that I did say no, and
Right.
I did not want to have sex with him. So I was trying to let them know that I cared about him, and I was blaming myself that we usually do in carbonation is put blame on ourselves. But
Okay.
after understanding what actually happened to me, I know for a fact that, yeah, I did care about him, but it doesn't mean that he had the right to take things from me.
Okay. Thank you, Janae. Now, what was your second question before you get to your third? What was your next question, Eferu?
In the article, you said that when you seen the rape charge, you said, what? He never raped me. What
In
about
the
that?
article,
You got
in
his
the
name
article,
tatted on your butt.
Before, wait, hold on. Let me do this because I want to keep this very organized. Um, Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've addressed her before. If you guys have ever have spoken since Carbon Nation. Number one, she's not on trial. I do want you to ask your questions. She's not on trial about her, especially since the trial was already done. I prefer her not to answer questions that have to do with this paperwork. Me, she's not saying this. For me and for the platform, I want you to focus on your relationship with her, if you can, Eferu. I that was stemmed around Eligio, Nature Boy. Can you talk about those things? What was your friendship or your sisterhood or relationship like? Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing that you two should focus on, and how she feels about how you treat her. You get what I'm saying? So is that okay with you, Janae? Is that okay with you, Efaru? I want to see what was your relationship with this woman all those years that you don't even believe anything she says, not one word. You think she's just completely lying about.
Because we were actually close. We were actually close. Close. I was there. I was there the whole time. I seen them go into the room. And my last question before we get into that is, we're talking about all this violence, but Natiri, you said that Solar was violent towards you and threw you across the room and
We're
was
not
abusive to
deflecting.
you.
Don't respond to that. No. No,
Why
no, no,
is that
no.
justified?
This isn't,
And
no, because you know why,
Emilio's a
Efaru?
criminal.
Efaru, can you do me a favor? I watched a couple things
That's
on
a
you.
great question.
I need to focus on you for 1 second. I watched you on a couple of the clips that I watched on I think it's called the T. She covers all the carbonation stuff. And I want to know from you, then I'm gonna get back to Janae. I want to know from you those moments when you ran away. That was you inside after you had been there for a while, right? When you ran away, what was going on with you that made you run? And then when you were gone, when he talked about you like a dog, I was in tears. Well, when he talked about you like a dog on that phone, why did you go back? Talk to me about why you left.
First of
Focus
all,
on that.
I never. First of all, I never ran away. Second of all, he's not. Those not the charges.
No, no, no. I want to
None
talk
of
to
that
you
has
though.
anything to do with the charges. He is an innocent man. He
Okay.
didn't rape anybody. He doesn't false imprison anybody. Natiri had a relationship with him and was going back and forth in and out of his life. She could leave whenever she wanted.
I know, Efaru.
It's
We
really
understand.
sad to see
Go
you
ahead.
like this still.
Let her talk.
It's sad to see you like this.
No, it's okay because she know better. She can't. She
No, no, no. See, this is the thing. I'm
And
gonna
I'm
let
happy as well.
Janae,
But
don't
yeah,
get
that's all
triggered
the
by that
questions that I
because
thank
Efaru, but
you.
Efaru,
Agree,
everything you
he'll be
said.
resurrected, and when the truth is exposed and he come out, keep
Are
that
you
same.
getting ready to leave? Is this your closeout? You're gonna leave after you say all that? Because I just want you to hold on a second.
Y'all have to sit with
This is
those.
the thing. When you don't have to leave, but I'm just saying this is the thing. Everyone knows he's in prison. You don't. Please don't interrupt me. I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I want this to stay respectful. Everyone knows he's in prison. We're on the panel right now knowing he's in prison. Everyone knows that this woman right here doesn't control the judicial system. She doesn't control the judge. She's not COINTELPRO. She's not the KKK, which you called her on HOK channel. She's not controlling the jury. She's a young lady who, just like you have a lot of trauma in common. And so, with that understood, he's in jail because he was guilty. We can't blame her for saying he did this to me, and she's not the only reason he's in jail. That's my point. She's the spark of it. She's the hero. I'm very, very happy that she did that. But she handed that case over to the police, and they said, oh, hell no. Let me see what's going on over there. Oh, no, 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 no. We can't let this guy stay free. He's destroying lives. And then he went to prison. So when we sit on, I'm not going to let anybody sit on this panel and act like, well, you must have loved him. And when that day, when you was standing to him, he gave you a flower. He's in jail. He's been convicted. She's not on trial. In fact, I don't even think she should respond to any of the, well, didn't you kiss him one day? Well, weren't y'all having a Valentine's date? It doesn't matter. He raped her. The proof was there. It went to trial. Black people in the jury said, oh, yes, he needs to go under the jail. I want life and plus this. So we're not attacking her so much. If you want to talk about her, I want to find out, what part don't you see that he did these things to you and her? I want to hear from you. I don't want you to come in talking about Solar and her liking him. I want to hear from you.
Right,
I've been
right.
wanting to talk to you. I've been wanting to hear from you. Why did he break you down so low? Why? And there was a rumor. I don't know if this is true. Did he tell you you couldn't have any sex from him, that everybody else could, and you could clear that up? This guy who's supposed to be so loving and kind, why did you leave? And why was that out there in the internet? It could be wrong. Did he say, I'm not going to sleep with you because you're going to just do some other stuff? Why did he do these things if he's so great?
I'm not here for all the attention and to be in y'all parade and talking about everything y'all have going on. I'm just here to state what she said and remind her that she was actually manipulated into doing the things that she's doing, and y'all are hyping this ignorance up, and the lie doesn't become truth because you change.
Well, I'm going to mute you. See, I told you this isn't I'm not going to let you. Yes, you need to leave. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
there,
See, we tried. I already know. You're not coming in here, but let me tell you something. This is what happened. And everybody was like, oh, Sonetter. You
conversation.
contacted Sonetter thinking you were going to come in here and play what you played on HOK. I let you know before you came in here, you won't. Nobody is doing a parade and manipulation. We're showing you love. Am I not?
Mm-hmm.
We're showing you love. You're not the problem, Eferu.
She
But you
did not
will not.
promise me
This
too.
is what I want. I don't want to, no, I don't want to talk badly about her after she's gone. She's gone. But I do want to say this. Eferu, you are going to be next. You're going to leave. Enough is enough. I'm gonna give you, I hope I could give you tomorrow. I'm gonna give you about a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, a year. You're leaving. You know how I know? Because you and Malia and Janae, and I wasn't watching so much the men, you three are going to snap out of it. Zoka, she was so young. I think she was 17. The program is a lot stronger. I want Ray, if you're in here, because I know Janae. I brought her in. I asked
Oh,
if Janae.
well, Napa,
Janae's not on
for a
trial.
moment, I'd like to
I did, but
interject
real
for a
quick,
moment.
Solar,
Just
1 second. I just want Ray to come in. Ray, talk about, because you have a lot of knowledge on what's going on with her. Talk about what she just tried to come in and do. Can you do that? And then I'll hand it over to everybody else.
yeah. Well, so number one, you know, Eligio is still watching everything. He has access to the internet and things like that. So when something like this is going on, they are expected to defend him vehemently. If she did not come on this panel and do what she just did, she would be in trouble. um in terms of how she responds to you, she also gets in trouble if she's too soft in her response to you.
I
She has
understand.
to be volatile, she has to be combative, she has to do all that. And then there's also the gaslighting of Janae by saying you're being manipulated, and you're just being, you're just, people are manipulating your mind. And because that's designed to make Janae second guess herself, whether they know that or not. That, that if the case was still ongoing, this would be tampering at its highest. you know
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of gaslighting and manipulating, and Janae, I know where the emotion is coming from with Janae. It's more of an empathy, like you see her stuck in a place that you were in, and it like it's hurting you. I see that, like I know that that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't want people to think that Janae is emotional because she's second guessing herself or anything like that. It's just this whole thing that, these people really develop connections with each other.
Yes.
They get invested in each other's lives. And so when one leaves, they're watching for the other ones to leave. They don't want to see them go through that, because now understanding what happened to them, it feels that much worse to watch the people that they were so close to go through this. And so here Eferu is just doing what she is expected to do. If
Mm.
she sits by and watches this live go on, and she doesn't come on here and make it all about him and divert all of the attention to him, she's got to hear that. She's
Right.
got to that later. So
Ray, Ray, I'm gonna hand it back to you, and I want you to all. You have a great point. I want you to talk to her. Listen, I mean this. She's going to leave, and me. But I want to say this, y'all. Just by us saying this, she'll get in trouble for it, and I don't want that. But Ray and Efaru, for by us saying this about you, he'll either love bomb you to try to put Rocky back to sleep, or he'll be hard on you. Oh, you're gonna listen to them? Oh yeah, you want to
yep,
go be with those hoes up there and go against a black man? Am
yep,
I lying?
nope.
100%. What's going to happen is they're going to immediately report back what they did do, and they're going to report on the negative of what we said rather than the point of what we're talking about.
That's if he's not watching Solar.
Well,
That's
he's not. I don't. He may or may not be watching from the area where he's in because he has the potential to. But they're going to report what they're going to report anyway. And she was right. He's either going to choose one or two options. He's going to give them praise for doing their best, or they're going to be reprimanded for not doing better or for making him look bad or making him look worse. And they're going to go and do a new campaign, a new post, a new something. Now they're active. Now he's going to give orders to either tell them to disappear or go hard. It's going to be
Who's
something
gonna
from this.
reprimand her?
But the thing is about Aaliyah
Who's
is
gonna
that
do the
you
reprimanding
never
if he's not
know.
here?
It's never going to make sense of what the
That's
next
Gemini
move is.
talking. Wait, Solar, she's asking a good question.
What you say?
Gemini, your mic is low.
Right. So I'm asking, who's gonna reprimand her? He's not here. So who's doing
That's
the
the beauty of it.
reprimanding?
And I'm glad
He
you said that. I'm
controls their
so glad you said
minds.
that. 'Cause
He's
I say
controlling
this
their
all,
minds.
I say this all the time is that the only reason why those girls are still there is because he's in jail. He's in, excuse me, prison. Because if he was not in prison, they'd be running for the hills right now because he'd be beating on them right now, as he normally does. When he gets up, let's say he's to get out and he was to go be with them, what do you think he's going to do? You really think that he's going to be a changed person? He's the same person who he is. That's why he's still justifying everything that he's doing. And when I stood on that stand and I spoke on the situation, I said it very clear. I'm gonna keep everything relevant to what the case is. But he knows exactly what he's done. He knows exactly what he thinks he's getting away with. And I hope one day that he can be honest with himself and be real about everything that he's done behind the scenes, everything that he's not on trial for, and to make amends with that within himself as well.
Right.
So
Real quick, I'm gonna let Janae come in, but I want to. Y'all should have let her talk. We did let her talk. What she's not going to do, she's going to talk. We need to hear from her. We are not. It's not about her. So she should stop making it about Janae. It's about Nature Boy. Stop. I want to hear what Nature Boy had with her. I want to hear from her. But you're right. She can't talk about it.
well,
And
Nepal, I want to offer something
and,
to you
and
and
yeah.
to Ray, and I want to get the
The
feedback on
feedback
this
on this
because
because
oh
Can
somebody
we add something
somebody
here
got
so
me
we
beat
can
up.
Yeah,
follow?
somebody can meet out, but after you speak, Solar, I want Janae to have something to say. And then I know the brothers are waiting. Who's somebody?
Somebody
somebody
echoing.
echoing.
That was me, 7-1.
Oh, seven. Get your upgrade your Fox or whatever your internet, please.
Hey,
Hey,
seven. I'm gonna say
Can you
something
hear
that
me? Can
that
y'all hear
you
me?
can be
Yeah, we
cool.
hear you, but you need to mute out for a second. I'll get to you in a minute.
Hey,
Janae wanted to say something. Are you?
wait,
Wait,
real quick.
real
You
I just
quick.
seven?
want to
Can you
say
mute
this
out for me?
real quick. I just want to
Thank
say
you,
this real
seven.
quick. All right.
Thanks, seven.
So what I do know, and I want to hear some feedback on it. And seven, this might help, or this might add to what you may say as well. Is that this is what I do know. This is why I said that if he was there, they'd be leaving right now. Zoka left multiple times without publicizing it, and she contacted me about it. And when she contacted me about it, she wanted to get back in a relationship with me. And I told her that, I'll give you the keys to my house. I'll go move down the street. This is when I was living in Mexico, beautiful house right on the beach. I said, you got the keys. I'll give you food. I'll bring you food every day. I'll make sure you're taken care of because she left. She was staying in the women's shelter. And she was hitting me up. I'm sending her music that I've been making and everything that's to help liberate her. And she's telling me, man, I know he's a fraud. Man, I know the whole plan he's doing. I know the whole game he's running on everybody. Man, yeah, no, I can't believe that I actually fell for that. She's talking to me about all of this. And she left multiple times and is not publicized it. And when she did this, she came to me to be in a relationship with me. And when I said, "Hey, look, I want you to deprogram because you still saying the yerp, you're saying still saying the whole peace God, that I love myself after every word," like I like, look, I think you need to spend some time with yourself. I'm gonna give you the space and all that. She told me, "I feel like you just passing me off. I feel like you just pushing me to the side. You don't want to be with me no more." And I was like, "Look, it's not that. It's that I want you to really reprogram yourself. I've been gone a year already. I already know what it's like when you leave immediately. You still kind of on that. And I want you to spend time with yourself, and here's the opportunity. And if you don't want to stay here, here's a place in Cali, and here's a place over here in Texas. Here's a couple spots that you can go to that are opening their homes to you, where we'll completely take care of you. You can just relax and reset yourself." Zoka chose to stay in the woman's shelter and eventually go back because I refused to get back in a relationship with her. This is
Oh,
after, and in our relationship, she used to pull me to the side, 4 a.m., 3 a.m. We're sitting on the hilltop outside, staring at the stars, talking about knowledge. I'm speaking all kind of knowledge and wisdom because that's what I'm really about. And she's sitting there saying, "You know what, Solar? I know Eligio is not the real Messiah. You are. You're the real king. I know that you're the real king." And she used to tell me this. So this is not to big myself up, but this is to point out that Zoka knows the reasons why she's there, and the reason why Efru is there is some other type of insecurity or trauma that is irrelevant to what Eligio is or is doing. It's not love for Eligio. It's not any of those things. It's something that they're getting away from and running away from within themselves or trying
oh,
to get from the situation. It's nothing to
okay.
do with them believing that he's God or he's this. That's a guise to cover something else up psychologically. So I just wanted to offer that
Thank
and
you for
see
offering
what's
the
made of
fact.
that.
Thank you for offering the bit that that you said she actually wanted to leave, and that other information. I texted you today. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
So I
Let
want
me
Janae to speak,
really quick,
and
Nicole, right
no,
fast.
but she's been
I'm
waiting for a minute. And
sorry.
No,
Sakina,
the goddess
Janae, you
can
look
go.
so beautiful.
Thank you, babe. The goddess can go. She can.
yes, go ahead. And since you heard them saying "babe" and "beautiful," they do have a child together. That's a whole different conversation. But I think that's great that you are coming back together to raise your child. So I don't know all the drama and tea, so nobody come for me. I just think it's great that they came back together. And are you a Gemini, Solar?
How you
Yes.
know? I'm a Gemini sun, 12th
Oh
house.
my God, how do I
I'm a
know?
Cancer moon
Because
and I'm a
we
Cancer
go
ascendant.
and go and go. Gemini's a goddess is a Gemini too. She's the only Gemini that I haven't seen
I'm a
top.
Gemini Mercury too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can. You're topping me. You're not topping me. You're almost there with the talking. I was like, oh, this is a Gemini here.
I was
Okay.
seeing that in you too. I'm like, yo, she kind of talking
I
like
was
just
like,
because she
Janae,
don't
because
go.
back, if you don't mind if I share it, she's like, Solar, I could see. Okay, I says like he could go. Oh yeah, Solar's a Gemini. I could tell. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go
Hey,
ahead,
I'm
Sakina.
familiar with the mute mic button. Don't worry.
No, you ain't familiar with. I get look. I have to always say. Sonya's like, well, you stop bringing that. I get thrown in the back. Okay, my husband would be like, click, put me backstage real quick and make me look. So I'll be like, oh my god, these people are gonna be up here laughing at me. But whatever.
Okay,
Okay,
well, listen, only thing I want to really say is
go
that
ahead.
they didn't just they locked him up mainly for you. Don't ever get that twisted. But they also locked him up because of them.
Oh, good point, Sakina.
Okay.
They saw the abuse of
They
them.
also locked him. They
Oh,
also
they get all
locked
the
him up.
calls.
They also locked him up because of them.
Because what he did, yeah.
Right? And because they still lingering around. Okay? Listen, when a woman gets battered and she refuses to leave, sometimes they have to lock him up. And when they go to court, they sometimes don't, the state picks that charge up because that
Mm-hmm.
woman don't know how. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can't. They're not as strong as her. You're right. That's to
And
protect. That's
so,
a good point. I want
so
you to talk
I
about
don't want
that,
you to
Janae.
keep taking this bag and letting them throw that in your head.
Come on,
Because
tell
that's
it.
what happened already. Didn't I
Tell
say
us.
this wasn't your culture? Okay, so you're out of that now.
That's right.
So if they figure that he in there for them, for you, he in there for them too.
Oh wow.
They
Talk
can't give up
about
the
it.
ghost.
Woo.
Okay.
Sakina, that is the best thing. Thank you. She came forward
You're the
in her speech.
survivor.
So I want you to talk on that, Janae. Did you ever think about that? How they're protecting the law, the prison, the system is protecting them because they can't be as strong as you. Talk about that, Janae.
Absolutely. When her final remarks, the judge, she said that I hope that his sentences, and she's talking to the cult members and the former ones. I hope that his sentencing can give you peace. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, well, of course, it was all for all of us. You know, if Eligio was still out, I'm pretty sure someone would be dead, and that someone would have probably been Malia. She
Oh,
got abused the most out of everyone. It haven't been a week she has not been abused. So I just feel as if people are saying, well, they locked him up and he doesn't deserve life, just know that fact you wasn't there. You was not there. This guy was horrible to everyone. I don't want to hear about what he did or how he awoken the people. He was saying things that we already knew in our hearts. We thought he would help us to uplift ourselves and the whole world. We thought he would help us become our true selves and highest self and true forms. No, he just basically manipulated us and controlled us and let us do his bidding. So I want people to know that if he was still out, he's already killed 3 people. 3.
talk
Wait,
about that
wait,
more.
wait, wait.
Can you talk about that a little bit more, Janae?
She's
Because people
speaking on
don't
my
know
daughter.
that.
Oh
She's speaking
No,
on
man.
they
my
don't.
daughter, my baby love. That's what she's speaking on too.
Baby
Well,
love.
who's
Baby
baby?
And then
love.
my,
Talk about it.
go ahead,
Who is it?
go ahead,
Tell
go
us.
ahead, Janae.
Baby love, which is Solar's unborn child. Zoka and Solar's unborn child. Baby love. Mama Dia, who they left, like all y'all know, in the hospital.
Tell them.
They
No, tell them,
he
Janae.
was uh,
Go ahead.
and
I'm sorry to interrupt.
also
Some people
no, it's
don't
fine.
know. Wait, back up. Take your time, Queen.
hmm
What happened with Mama Dia? Because I assume everybody knows. I want you to tell people what happened to her.
So I wasn't there for Mama Dia. I know what I saw in the cult, and she was on camera happy, in nature. But what I do know is he told her to stop taking medication, which I believe wholeheartedly, because she did have some kind of heart condition. I believe heartedly, excuse me, that he would tell her not to take her medication because he would always proclaim like how he's this healer because he always would tell me that he can heal me and he can heal the world and he can do this and he can do that, and the knowledge is going to heal. The knowledge is getting you right, going out into nature, putting your feet on the dirt. Grounding does have healing effects, but to what point? To tell a person to stop taking their medication and eventually die. The reason why he left her like that is because he did not want to take the responsibility. He was scared out of his mind, like he always get when when we were always in some kind of trouble. He would get scared out of his mind and think irrationally and think about only himself. So think about that the next time you say, oh, I don't think he deserved life. I don't think he deserved to be up in there long enough. Oh, he had a chance to change. This man already killed 3 people. And the last one I'm going to talk about is Loyal. Amar.
Amar, that's my brother.
Talk about it. Let's hear it. Who is it? Who is that? I don't know about him. Tell me. Tell us.
And Janae, I'll help you with this one too because we both
Yeah,
spoke
go ahead.
to him right before his passing. I was speaking to him literally
Yeah.
the day right before he passed, and I didn't even I knew something was wrong, and I
Who was
offered the
he?
best that I could
Tell us who
offer.
was he?
Loyal was the tech team leader, was his role in the group. And Loyal was somebody who was me and him spoke before me and him ever joined Carbonation. We were friends already. And he used to post on YouTube all the time how he sees the world different, and how he's all about self improvement. The whole no fab thing, fasting. Just seeing through the matrix, following your purpose, and
So
finding ways to build
he was
yourself.
a knowledgeable, conscious brother. That's just I wanted to
Oh,
get that.
he was a major member there. Like
Okay, to
video,
go back to what you were saying.
all
What
the
happened to
videos
him,
on
Solar?
YouTube, all the videos that on YouTube that Eligio has were done by him. He does all the editing.
Wow.
He buys the hard drives. He does all the Amazon orders. He would do. He was at a certain position where he would take orders from me, and at times a couple of the other members. We would
Solar,
get those orders
Solar.
from
I'm gonna help
Eligio.
you. I'm gonna get
Go
you
ahead.
back on track. Gemini, tuning into
No,
Gemini.
I want you
Go
to
back.
know who
No, I want
Loyal
you. I
is.
know you gave us enough background. I need to because people are
Okay.
in the chat talking about what
So
happened with him. How did he get? Yeah.
but this is it's important though. You gotta trust me
I
here
know. No, I
because
know it's important,
because
but I want to hear how he passed away, and then you
I'm
can go more.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
And so, Loyal was somebody, and this is the last bit of background I'll give you that's necessary.
Okay.
Is that his father was murdered, and he didn't have a father figure growing up.
Let's try to say unalived. By the way,
Oh,
but it's
was
okay. Keep going. Keep going.
deleted. Is that what yeah,
Yeah,
he was
great.
deleted. And when Loyal came to the group, he was like me, where he just wanted a family. He just wanted brothers and people to connect with, and he didn't have an identity. He didn't know who he was to any degree, and because of this, he was always changing and morphing into whatever he felt like he needed to be. At one point, we named him Program because we could literally tell him to be anything and he'll be it. Another name he had in the group was Able, because whatever we needed him to do, he was able to do it. Those were literally his names. He became this, in his head, gun toting gangster from New York, from the Bronx, when he's a Canadian conscious kid who lived by himself, who doesn't know who he is and wants better for the world and for himself, because Eligio told him and showed him that was the way. So right before he passed, he was sending me catalogs of music from Big Scar. If you know who Big Scar is, go look up Big Scar. He's passed. Go listen to his music. You're gonna turn it right off. You're going he it's all about deleting people, and it's
Mm,
all about getting money, and it's all about those things. And that's one thing, one paradigm Eligio liked to put the men
Yes.
in. He liked to
Yeah.
put the men in that paradigm often. It's like, F these girls, focus on the bag, you take
Yeah.
care of the family, be a gangster man, the toxic masculine. And that was a constant narrative the men had to be. Loyal was somebody, Amar Jawade, he was somebody who took that very seriously. And he
so,
would
Yes.
listen to the
so
music
how did he pass
religiously.
away? You said because you said Eligio's the reason he passed away. I want to
I'll put
hear.
it to you like this.
Go ahead, Jen.
What's on record is that he was burned alive and
Oh
beaten
my
and,
God,
and beaten to death before he burned.
burned alive.
Yeah, he was beaten to a
They
point
burned his
where
house.
and then they burned him alive. But they found his body, and they said that he was beaten first. And I already know to a degree the background of that. And he was doing this gangster persona in the wrong areas with the wrong people,
Mm.
fulfilling orders of Eligio,
Oh,
and that got him killed.
was that in
So
America?
you
Was that in
guys
the
didn't
United
have
States?
nothing to do with it, right?
No,
Nah,
no,
we
no,
was
no,
already
no,
gone
no.
at the
Hold
So
time.
on,
you
Oh
hold
yeah,
on,
yeah,
guys
hold
he
didn't
on.
was
have nothing to do
he
with
was
it.
hitting me up,
No.
asking me how to make money, how to get money for the group, how he can help do things to make money so that they can sustain themselves because they were struggling. And I was teaching him about credit. I was like, hey, you got all these people. If you guys can learn how to leverage your credit properly, you guys can have access to a lot of funding to do a lot of things that you want to do in a righteous way. And he was trying to more or less get money back from somebody that owed Eligio
Was this in
money.
Canada,
for
Solar?
the
Was
bill.
this in Canada or was this in the United States?
I believe it took part in multiple places because it
Oh,
was
they
over
said Canada in the chat.
because it was over real estate. So it took place from Chicago and Canada. Those two areas is where this transition and this event took place with the
Okay.
people
Well,
involved. And the police have already solved it, found the person who did it.
right.
They already figured that part out. But the reason why we're saying Eligio did that is because
He told him to act that way. I
He
get you.
told
He's
him to act
responsible.
that way, and he was fulfilling orders in that process as
Oh
well
wow,
to
orders are
get
important.
a minuscule amount of money back.
And real quick, I want to talk to people in the chat saying, "Well, if somebody told you to jump off the cliff, if you don't know anything about mind control and manipulation and cults, then really don't ask. Just sit back and listen, because I wasn't in this type of culture.
Indoctrination. Don't forget that word. And
Indoctrination.
indoctrination.
I was in the I was following, I still claim to be a Hebrew Israelite, but I was following a group that told me things that I knew in my logical mind was wrong, but I got indoctrinated. And that was from 2011. I was super in it, like God's gonna kill everybody who's not black, and things. I said, wait a minute, I have Hindu friends who follow Hinduism, and I have Buddhist friends who don't. They were like, they're all gonna go, don't worry. I said, I have African friends from Africa. Oh, they're gonna go. White friends, and they were like, they're gonna go. We lost No Saint. He waited a long time.
Can I
Go
can I
ahead.
Can I speak?
Yeah, right
Yeah,
after
right after.
I'm gonna let
I'm
the
gonna
sister
let the
who's
sister
really
who's
super
really
soft
super soft
spoken. I
spoken.
don't know if that
I
was
don't know if that was
Janae or
Janae
Ray.
or Ray.
It was
It
me.
was
It was
me.
Ray.
Ray's not long. I'm gonna let her go, and then Seven, you come right in and ask what you need to say. Sorry, No Saint, if you waited. I hope you're still listening while you're tucked away snoring in bed. Okay, go ahead, Ray.
Before you go, Ray, can someone mute Stimuli God real quick? I'm not really feeling his comments the whole time, and I'm not
Yeah,
going
you
to
know what?
stand for that.
Thank you.
One point.
Hold
Okay, we're not
on.
doing that.
First
So
off,
can we
thank you. I'm
mute
sorry to have
him,
to
please?
ask.
Okay,
Thank you.
Janae.
Let's go
Okay.
ahead and times that stimuli got out. I already asked somebody that. Time him out. I wasn't looking at the chat too much right now. I usually
Time him out. Get him out of here.
so stimuli the God. You got to go right now, my friend, or enemy. I don't
Oh,
even know who
your
you are.
mouth is so reckless and
Just
so
mute him.
inconsiderate. I can't
Oh,
stand it.
y'all did Gemini. You have the power to do that. You should have got in there, but I can't for some reason. I keep on timing. I think it's him out, but I keep seeing him, the brother or the sister or whoever it is, come back. Okay, nobody's attacking. Look, I like that I don't know the Solar, Janae, Zoka, Velvet, everybody, Solar. I don't know the whole. I'm laughing, but it's not. I don't know the love triangle stuff. Keon seems to know a little bit backstory. I can hear it in what he's asking.
Yeah, I'm loving this.
I don't know it. And you know why I'm glad I don't know it? Because I can actually sit here and talk to the people, to their faces. You know how many rumors are out there about me?
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, not care. I'm talking to them right here
We're
and that's
gonna
what I'm
Hey,
care.
getting right
Wagwan.
now. Okay. I just want to
Okay,
point
go ahead.
that out. So
Sorry,
go ahead.
Goddess. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Oh,
Ray.
Ray, I'm so sorry, Ray. Ray was
No,
going to say
no,
something.
no. It's okay. It's
No,
okay.
and
It's
then
okay.
Janae, go ahead,
No,
Ray. And
I just wanted to
wait,
say
Sola, I told you you can't be up here trying to rival in my talkativeness. You understand? Go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
no, it's
I
okay.
talk a lot.
I wanted to just speak to something earlier about why Efru and Zoka are still there, particularly Efru, Zoka, Malia, and Aya. If you followed their stories, they were the ones who were least liked by him. And there's a principle in the 48 laws of power that the more someone, quote unquote, owes you, the easier it is to own them. And those aren't the exact words, but you own them because they owe you this debt. And with cult leaders, they make it seem as if the reason they don't like you is because of something you've done. Something's wrong with you. It's you bring this out of me. You make me feel this way. And so those people, as a matter of fact, the principle is that it's better to employ an enemy over a friend because an enemy has more to prove than a friend. So these cult leaders, the ones that they make feel like enemies, the ones that they make feel the most debased, those are their most loyal followers. And the second thing I wanted to say is that proximity is everything. So when you say they're going to leave, that is a fact because the proximity has been taken away. The only thing keeping them there now is that
A cult leader always needs to have at least one person that is still devoted strongly, because
Mhm.
where the other ones are having doubt, that's the person that's kind of like reeling them back in. And he stays in that person's ear to make sure. And what's really scary about cult leaders, and if you all have an opportunity to take a moment to just look up what a dark empath is, and it is worse than a narcissist, a person who has a keen understanding of human emotions, and they figure out the things that make you tick. They figure out where your emotional vulnerabilities are, and they wield them to their own advantage. And they use those things to manipulate you. And so in this case, you have a man who, upon meeting him, you have to share your astrological chart with your birth chart with him. That is the first thing. The second thing that he does is he changes your name. I don't think people understand the spiritual connotation behind allowing someone to change your name. So that's something that that's why I appreciated the fact that when Janae got up here, she was referring to Efru and Zoka and Aya by their names, by their birth names,
Mm.
that sometimes people referring to you by your real name, it does something psychologically. And if you hear it enough, it starts to work on you. And so my hope has always been that with proximity being removed, with them being him not having access to them as much as he did, that they would slowly get out. It is dismantling. Malia is not mentally strong. She's not well mentally, and they need to get her some help. And I'm hoping that as they start to see what's happening, that they will kind of wake up. But right now, what he's using, the thing that he's using right now is the whole. Did you notice how they refer to themselves as Mama so and so? They've always done that, but now he's doing this whole thing where he's telling them, "I'm your son." So
Mm.
he's speaking to
He,
the.
right, because it's levels to that crazy. It's
Mm-hmm,
levels.
mm-hmm.
It's so many levels. And
It
you
is
know what? Let me say this. Like, stay on that point right there when you said that. Some of the reasons they're staying. I mean, well, you hope that they'll leave. They'll leave, right? R. Kelly, two young ladies stayed for how long? Approximately after their leader was gone, staying in Trump towers and this and that and the third, and soon that was a thing of the past. So
mm,
you give them some more time. They will that hold will begin to break because that main energy is not there. You know what I mean? So it's again the hope. Staying it's more than staying hopeful. It's knowing that you know that cycle has to close itself out, and it will.
it.
Mm.
I
Yes.
had no idea that was happening. He's
He's
saying
saying
that
that
he's
he's
the son
Yes,
because to them who lost babies, uh,
exactly.
he took those babies. Efru was pregnant like 3 times, got her to get abortions.
Mm-hmm,
So they are the ones who actually want a child more than anything.
Right.
exactly.
Were you there for the whole breast milk thing, Janae?
And real quick, I'm going to let Seven Stars
Mm-hmm,
been waiting so long, but great points. I want to touch on that again, especially he's playing off the trauma of losing the baby with he's I'm the son thing. He is a
He's
master
a master
manipulator.
manipulator.
Seven Star,
Seven
thank you
Asar,
so
thank
much
you
for
so
your
much for your
patience.
patience.
I guess we're
I
going to
guess we're
mute
gonna
out while
mute out while
you're
Okay. Yeah, it was worth being patient, Nepal, because I just want to say brilliance, brilliant, and how brilliant this show has been. How you've got all these people together and this brother and sister speaking their testimony. It's something that needs to be talked about, and I appreciate you putting this together. Now, I want to speak to two parties. One in my divine feminine to the black women on the panel, black women supreme, I must say. And two, in my divine masculine, to my brother Solar. Now, as far as the sisters on the panel, and specifically the sister Janae, I want to let her know that I heard Solar say that you were the inspiration for him to leave. And we as black men and black people have to understand, let's put some historical context in this. We have to understand how powerful the black woman is for us. What she has done, she stands up and she stands up against injustice usually first, right? We had Harriet Tubman stand up for us for the railroad, right? We had Rosa Parks decided not to take that, get up from her seat and spark the civil rights movement, right? We had a black woman create Me Too movement, black women creating Black Lives Matter. And the black woman supreme in particular, I have to applaud you. And I applaud you, sister, for being able to relive that horrible experience, to give testimony, to not only help save your sisters that are still wrapped up in that, but also any other woman that is listening to this show and can gain some perspective and hopefully get out of a situation they may be in, right? So I don't have any questions for you, but I do have questions for Brother Solar in my divine masculine, because as a man, there's some questions for you and for the men in this organization that hasn't been asked. Brother, I heard you say that you brought some women into the cult. Is that correct?
That is
That
correct.
is correct. So even though you men were indoctrinated into his thinking, do you feel complicit? Or do you think the men should feel complicit in the abuse that these sisters went through by the hand of the man you brought them to? How do you feel about that? Is there any repentance? Is there any accountability for that once you got up out of that?
That's a fair
That's a
question,
fair
and I
question,
went
and
through
I
that.
went through that.
Do you
Do
mind
you mind
muting yourself
muting
for me?
yourself?
Okay. So when I first left, and I'll keep it short in the pod, don't worry. When I first left, I went through my own deprogramming phase. Deprogramming, thinking I was deprogrammed, realizing I still had programs. And then deprogramming, really resetting and coming back to Courtney Townsend, coming back to who I was in the beginning. And when I went there, I think I stand out amongst most members to where I already knew what I knew. I have a gift to seeing universal patterns for what they are already. And if you go to my page, you'll see to this day, I only offer endless teaching of divine knowledge and truth for all souls, for everybody. And it's not Nature Boy's programming, or excuse me, Eligio's programming, or his, none of that. See, he doesn't own the truth. And he used the truth to get people into situations and positions that fed whatever traumas he needed fed. So I don't feel any remorse for that, because that's almost like me regretting, like, why did I go? Why did I put everything to the side? Why did I put my family to the side and put everything to the side? Those were choices that I made because of what I believed in. And if it wasn't for Eligio, I was going to go be a monk in the Himalayan mountains. All facts. I just didn't want to cut my hair. And so the reality is, I was searching for a spiritual family before I even came across him. I was already looking to do that and be a martyr if I had, if that's what it came down to, for the truth. So for those women who came for their own reasons, I thought that they came because I may have convinced them to, through the knowledge and through doing the right thing. But the reality is, they came because of some of their own traumas that they held already before me. That's not my responsibility. And, God is working in ways in which I can't see it sometimes. And, all of this happened for reasons that I still been, have not been revealed to me yet. But I don't take responsibility for their journeys. But I do know why I did what I did. And I did everything out of a golden heart and for a righteous reason. What he did with what he had is on him. The reasons why they did what they did, truly, regardless of what I thought I was doing, is on them. So I've learned to give people their power back in the sense of also giving them their responsibilities back and not taking on other people's traumas and debts as my own. So I know where I went wrong, and I know my insecurities, I know my traumas of why I went there, not why I did what I did. But at the end of the day, I had a weakness in believing in myself and believing that my authentic self was enough, and thinking that I had to conform to a group in order to be effective. And that was my mistake.
Okay, hold on. I just want to say one more thing, and I'll be done. Y'all won't hear from me again. I just want to say this, brother. I didn't hear any. I heard some accountability, but what I heard is that you guys did recruit women for him, right? And
Wrong, wrong.
knowing that he
I
abused,
brought them in to be with me. They were supposed to be with me, and that
did you
was
know he
something
was
like,
abusing women that you
yeah,
were bringing in?
they were always to be with me and to be my wife, so that we could build our portion of the thing and build our family. Eligio's the one who would go back and forth between you can have wives, you can't have wives, you can have wives, you can't have wives. I never brought women to be there with him, ever. And I'm the only dude who would get in trouble regularly for fighting him on that. No, I want my girl. That's my girl. We would even go sneak away. Zoka on a regular basis would leave in the middle of the night to come be with me. We're talking like, yo, how are we gonna fix this? How are we gonna get you and convince him to allow us to be in relationships again? And even Velvet, who's the mother of my son, she also came in and spurred him to open up the relationships again because he was abusing the power that he had and manipulating the men and the women through these relationships, and she seen right through it. And it's I never brought a woman there for Eligio ever. It was always the narrative, what the men agreed, and what the agreement that we had amongst the whole group or tribe was that the women get to choose who they be with, and whoever they want to be with, they get to be with them, and they deal with the consequences of whatever that is.
Okay, yeah, and thank you for answering that. Go ahead. Did you after you seven? I want to point something out. Are you done, seven? Sorry.
No, no. I just want to say this. I understand you were indoctrinated, brother. Believe me, I completely understand that. But me as a man, I have to say that there were, even though you were indoctrinated, there's an accountability for the abuse of these women. I don't know if you knew he was abusing them when you were bringing women in, even as your wife, girlfriend, or whatnot. But if you did, brother, there was some complicity, and I applaud you for your testimony. I applaud you standing here against what he was against his wickedness and his evilness. But I think that you owe those women who were abused that you brought in or you seen brought in and knowing that they were being abused because they are owed that. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, I hear you.
you may think that they came in through their own volition throughout their experiences, but some of that influence was by some of the men that brought them into this. Right? That's part of the manipulation that
Right,
men
right,
do.
I want
He
seven. You're
to
used
right.
that.
let me let you
You,
take a
you,
minute. Solar, hold on.
he's right. He's right in a certain
I
sense.
need everybody to mute out for 1 second, please. Okay, Seven Asar, you are one of a regular on our panel, and I love you being here. And I hear what you're saying, and the brother addressed it. I want to say my part. Again, Seven might be watching a little bit more than I about other things, but this is here and now. And from what I know, this is also a survivor of Eligio. When people say you're not fair to the brothers, I'm going to say men get mind control and indoctrinated just like women. I'm not caping or making excuses for anybody. I can't expect for him to protect people when he also was in the cult just like everybody else. I really am a stickler and serious about women being abused. I'm an advocate, so I would never say, "Oh, it's okay." I'm not saying it's okay. He was also abused. We don't maybe you it seemed that men had more power because Eligio, the way he set it up. But for me, I can't jump down anybody's throat saying, why did you go? Because he brought himself there. So, Seven, I don't want you to leave. I know you've been waiting, but I did want to point that out. That Solar, just because he's a man doesn't mean that he uh, didn't experience indoctrination and abuse and manipulation and all those other things. We lost Ray. I really appreciate her join. It's really late, but Ray, if you're listening, please email me so we can bring you back in. Napashada1@gmail.com. We have I think Dots, I dropped the link for you. Dots wanted to come in. Now, I'm not saying you can't ask Solar. He seems to hold his own. I mean, he gets, I know we're all on the internet getting the good and the bad, but I want to say this, how could he have helped these women? He couldn't even help him. So he's still recovering. They're still recovering from the trauma. Do you want to come in and say something, Janae? I'm reading your mind. I think you want to speak.
What,
Oh, no?
can I say something there real quick,
I just,
Nepal? Let me.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
These
want to make sure
questions
she's okay.
open up the floor for more clarity. So I have no, I
Yeah, I
take
have a
nothing
question for
personally,
Solar
but I
though.
think they need to keep asking questions and not be afraid to ask whatever
Yeah,
they
they're
feel they
asking, but
feel.
I'm not going to just let people
Yeah.
say, oh, it's your fault that they are there. We need to be
Yeah,
I
real
appreciate
about
that.
this.
Yeah,
I
he a big
yeah,
boy.
appreciate that.
yeah.
And
We're not gonna gaslight you.
no, y'all
I'm not
good. Y'all
saying that
good.
either.
You
Just
I
guys
to
know you're
good.
know,
not.
I'm
It's
not
really,
saying that.
I was reading the chat a little bit. It's not you, but you know, because
But he,
people were saying accountability. Yes, he probably, I don't know. Let me ask you, do you feel guilty that you brought them there? That's
No,
a better question.
like I said, no, because that would I
Oh, you don't
regret
feel guilty?
no, because the only regret that I would have would be bringing myself there. Everything
Okay,
that I've done and everything that I moved out of was a pure intention always. I never had an intention to bring a person into something that
right.
was messed up, and I never told Eligio to do what he did
Of course.
with what he had around him. He could have took us and empowered us, but instead he took it and abused the situation for whatever reasons. I can't answer for that, and if, for me to sit here and hold on to regrets and to hold on to remorse, that would be very unhealed of me. I've taken the time to think about this and to go through this. And no, I don't own their journeys, for them. However, I do know why I did what I did when I was that person, when I was him. The only thing that I think that I thought about when I had these regrets, when I did feel responsible, when I was taking too much accountability, what I was thinking was that, man, I wish I would have fought for them more.
Okay,
Man, I wish I would have took my girl and left earlier.
good.
Man, I wish that I called him out on the lies that he knows he was doing, the plans and the plots that he set up behind the scenes to manipulate people. I feel like I should have stood up and said something more. And Janae can speak for me on this one
Yeah,
too. And a lot of people know me personally. I'm arguing with Eligio for hours and hours and hours and hours regularly every night to help him understand the actual truth versus whatever narrative he's choosing at the time to support what he may want to do at the time. So I don't feel regret and I don't feel like I should take accountability for the abuse he inflicted on them and myself. I can only wish I knew more when I was younger, and that's going to do nobody any good, especially
Can
me.
I ask
So
you a question about the because you have the one baby with is it Zoka?
yeah, that was my first child I ever had, and ended up being stillborn after 9 months. So
Okay, so do you have at this moment any live children with anyone?
yes, I do. I have a beautiful baby named Azuli Rose with this woman right here, Janae, and
Okay,
she
and so you
is
guys have
amazing. I have
so you
another
guys
child
have
as
good
well.
communication out. So now that you're gone outside of the situation, you guys communicate. Do you guys co-parent or anything like that? How was that going?
Yeah, yeah, we co-parent very, very well at this point. We have some things worked out. I don't know how much you want to share, Janae. I'll leave that to you, and I'll let you speak on it. But I love this woman very much, and I'm just so
You can
grateful
tell that.
that
You
I
can tell
chose
that you
her.
guys love each. The look in her eyes when you came on was priceless.
I'm
So
just I'm glad
we
God
haven't.
put her in my life. She forces me. She doesn't do this consciously, but she forces me to be a better man every single day. Our daughter and who she is like is a symbol of our purpose and reminds us all the time. So I'm just grateful for this whole scenario me and Janae have, and I do have a son as well. And I want to pay respects to my son as well, with Velvet, and he's a beautiful kid too. He's already real strong and real smart. I can see it, and I'm just proud of them both. for waking up and leaving before me. And so I'm just honored that
I am too. I'm
I'm
happy
just grateful.
for
Yeah, I'm very
Joey and
happy
I
for
want to
Solar.
give them my best. That's all I want to give them my best.
I want to say to Janae and Solar, you know, I appreciate you coming in. It's not, I was going to share a little bit of my cult thing. I'm not going to talk as long as most Geminis do. And Solar, you're fine. I'm not. This is Solar's probably like, dang, she's telling me all of us. But you know why? Because our minds want to go all the way. And Cube, I see you. That's why I brought you up. We want to go all the way to back. But I'm going to take it easy. When was in that situation where I was thinking all this stuff, like my mind was being controlled by other people. The one of the reasons I kept trying to find reasons to stay. I don't know if you well, the people who have been in it know, you keep on recapping, like when seriously bad things happen to you, you go, okay, why am I here? Why? Oh, and what always came up is I don't want to be like what they've said the ones who already left are like.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that weakling who loves the enemy and so that, but after a while I said, wait a minute, that's only believed by the ones who are brainwashed. That's not a reality outside of this control thing. So finally when I said, you know what, I don't care what, because the only people that would think that about me are the people who are still in the indoctrination. And once I got past that, I was out of it. I want Janae to respond to what I just said. Like, what besides, I get it. I love you so much. You're so sweet to say, okay, that sparked the moment. But before that, something must have been, you must have been going through your list. Cube left again. You must have been going through your list of, okay, why am I here? Talk on what I just mentioned, if you can, Janae.
Absolutely. When we were in a cult, I would constantly think to leave every day. And that was just my intuition, as small as it has gotten, being with Eligio, because he teaches you not to trust your own self. He teaches you to trust only him and his words. It would tell me like, there's something wrong. There's something wrong, but I wouldn't listen to it. Right. And then there's also those voices of him and also the other cult members saying that, oh, what they used to sing, she's a runner, she's a track star, like she will run, she's gonna run, like. And because I was told that, I felt like I had something to prove, like I'm not gonna run, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna stick it to the end. So I sold my car, I got all my stuff from my grandma's, and I brought everything that I have and own to them to share with the community, with the cult, because I wanted to prove my loyalty. So yeah, there's times where I feel as if I wanted to go, but it would be trumped by, trying to prove that I am a ride or die, that he basically want all the women to be, and basically told us if we weren't riding for him, like, what you doing? Like, you're going against a Christ, you're going against God, you're going against your higher self. And, on a spiritual journey, you never want to go against your higher self. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
And can I say
Okay,
something
thank
to
you.
Solar? I just want to say something to the brother,
Sure.
please. Brother, I completely appreciate your testimony, everything that you're saying on here. And I had to ask those questions because most men were curious and those questions weren't brought up. It's the toughest environment to be in. We're vetting information and those questions had to be asked. And I asked your answer because it's very, very plausible, right? Me personally, I probably would feel a different way, but we're two different men, right? But your experience, how you got through that, and 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 how you got to the acceptance of how you were, were put in that situation, I accept that. And I don't want you to take what I was saying as attacking you, but it was about clarity, and that's what a lot of us men want from each other, right? Men usually hold each other accountable more than anybody else. So I think that, you know, if you took it that way, that wasn't my intentions. But I think that those questions had to be asked. And I'll land my
No,
plane.
100%. 100% respect you. And to the
into the
question,
question
because
because
you
you
pointed it
pointed
out,
it
it's
out.
bigger than me. I look at this as bigger than me. I look at this as bigger than everybody. I do realize that all I can do is my best. And, as long as I do that, whatever message that's meant to come through me will. So I'm glad. Just ask whatever questions you need to ask, because if it was me, all I would be doing is teaching knowledge. Janae, no, there ain't nothing else that I do. I just sit there and teach and teach and teach. That's all I do. But we get brought to this frontier where it's about my life story. It's about what I've actually gone through. It's about my mistakes now. So the most honorable thing I can do is be absolutely authentic and
Yep.
what's the word, vulnerable. So don't feel like I'm taking it personal. And if you feel like asking a personal question to anybody, feel free to do it, because the truth is going to help all of us, and we all think different. So I'm just here to offer me, and that's all that I can do. And I'm just grateful that you're here for the for the collective, because that's what's really important, is that we shine our lights. That's the greatest gift. That's the greatest joy that I have, is being able to take everything that I've been given and to give it to others. So feel free to ask, because that's a way for me to give.
Thank you, Solar. And I don't know, folklore must have just come in
Yeah.
because they've been getting tough questions and stuff thrown at them all night. And so they did more than they should be expected to answer. I appreciate it. For me, it is the toughest environment, but this is a balanced environment, and the jury literally is in. These people are not guilty. Not when it comes to what we're talking about with Eligio. No, no, no. I will not stand with anything that has to do with Eligio. I will run to the side of the people who have been victimized and manipulated. And these are brilliant, talented, beautiful, young, full of life, vibrant people. Yes, love goes out to Janae, to Solar. I don't know all about Solar. I just know Solar. I'm trying not to be funny. Okay, let me stop. Solar has been in demand by a lot of the ladies, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Hey, I think it's bad now because he's supposed to just be with one lady. Shout out to the ladies though. They're beautiful. I was laughing because I'm like, you be listening to the internet, but I stay away from listening to the internet because they say so many. If you guys listen to the internet about me, you wouldn't even be on the panel right now. So I love having them here, hearing from them, seeing the love, seeing the union. And I haven't heard them say anything negative about people who really are saying some bad things about them. I mean, some horrible things. So with that said, Q, I tried to call you back and say, come back in. We didn't get you. I'm so sorry. You waited patiently, and I'm not just saying this because I think he was going to go in on me, because he goes in on me every now and then. I'm saying because I genuinely feel sorry for having him wait so long and he didn't get to say his piece. I will let this brother, the one, ask his questions, because these two young people have a baby, and I think you have one baby or two babies. How many children you have? You have a little baby.
We
One.
have we have one daughter between us.
One is like 1,000 when they need all the attention. So I thank you for spending this time with us. I want to let the one speak to you, and then I want Janae to close out and just talk to us. I appreciate you being here. Whew, I told you, Solar. I got you. I'm still the champion of talking. All right, the one, please come in and ask your question or make your comment.
Oh, I'll pray to the Most High for
Oh,
Sonetta
God.
and you the pot. But I really don't have no questions. Just got a few statements. I'd like to thank the brother and the sister for even coming out, even talking about it, showing first sign of healing, even talking about the situation. I just want to say a couple of more things. Now that I look at it, us as a people, we always looking for someone as among our people to stand out in front and to lead us. Now here's a brother that had a great bit of power, but he used his power to abuse. He abused a young brother and a lot of sisters and other brothers. Now he could have been somebody powerful in our community, but when he got the power, it went to his head and it just corrupted the brother. And I know the sisters was like, okay, here's a man, he has all this knowledge. This someone I can confide in, someone I can look up to, and the brothers was thinking the same thing. but this man took the power and abused it. And then the other female that got on there that was like trying to hold him up, it showed me that she's still under this spell, even though this man locked up, probably never come home, but she's still under there. So for her, we just got to do a lot of praying for her so she can come from under that spell, because she's very delusional. It's still having resident in her mind about the abuse part of it, the physical abuse, the mental abuse, or none of that. It's still having resident in her top yet. Not like everybody else. The brother, he didn't woke up. The sister, she didn't woke up. They, you can tell how they talk. They didn't woke up like, okay. And then like sister say, when you was talking about it, it resonated her. Cause y'all trapped him. I didn't see it, but I'm listening to what y'all saying. Questions that you was asking him kind of trapped him in a corner to like, oh shit, the gig is up. Damn, now, I can't really fake it no more. The pot, she don't really know what, but the stuff she asking me put me on the spot, and I don't really have no answer for it. Making me like a girl, they make me look like a child. So they put a light bulb on everybody that's really conscious. I can say that the young female still on the spell wasn't conscious, but her level of conscious, it just to me wasn't just up there to for the light bulb to go out, and she's still under the spell. And that's my take on it. And I'm glad that you brought this out so everybody be aware of certain people in our community that's like this. You know what I mean? Because we are looking for somebody, man or woman in our community, to take charge, to be a leader out front for us. Because most of our leaders, they kill them. You know what I mean? Or else our leaders turn corrupt. We looking for somebody to be righteous among our people that we can look up to and take charge. And we can say, okay, their brother, their sister, and the people that's not a part of our community, they don't have nothing to say about it. If we bring this man up, Nature Boy, have anything, the people can say, nah, that dude there outside the community, nah, he did this, he did that, and they got facts on it. They can go people within his community and ask them, and like, yeah, this did happen. So come on, man. We need to, as leaders, if we're gonna be leaders, man, we need to anything that's wicked among ourselves, we need to check ourselves and no, I don't think they're gonna be right. And also any other brothers and sisters that's in our community that's willing to check us, we should listen to them. I know this brother, like he say, is arguing back and forth with this man. Period and point blank, look, bro, this ain't right. But instead of him yelling and say, you know what, I need to have counsel too, even though I might be the leader, but I also need counsel because I'm a man. I have faults myself. So okay, brother, you know what? Let me go back to the drawing board, analyze what you said, and come. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't need to do that. We need to move to a different direction. But some people let power get to they top their head because they never possess this type of power. We ain't talking about money power. We're talking about like mentally power over people. Like if I say, you know what, go sit on the ground and roll over, and you do it. That type of power. We ain't talking about money. That's some serious power when you can tell people to do certain stuff and you have their control over their mind because the mind controls the body. That's serious power. That's serious, serious power. That's all I have to say in the body and
And
keep
I
doing what
appreciate
y'all doing.
that ad.
Like,
Wait, I've got to drop a bomb for what this brother said. That was some real beautiful. Yes, the power isn't always money. I do want to say thank you, brother, for hearing from the older the brother and from the younger Keon. Keon from 26 to 56, 66. We had a panel of people. Dots came in. She didn't stay, but I appreciate you coming in. If you had something to ask, I will see you ask it. Oh, Cube came back. We'll see you ask it on your podcraft that you do. Cube, I'm gonna let Cube was waiting the whole show, y'all.
Is
And
he
I had to have my
serious?
husband call Cube and say, come back. Cube, I'm showing you so much love just with the divine masculine. Close us out and you know what I'm saying, Cube. Let me be quiet. Go ahead.
Yeah, peace, man. First I came with the divine masculine. Now I gotta come with the divine demon because
Okay, Cube. If we
no,
have
no, I'm just I'm just joking. I'm just
I was
joking.
like, we're ready.
Nah, nah,
Gemini, you ready?
I didn't know that y'all was gonna close. I probably thought we had a little bit more time, but I'm just gonna leave it as is. I don't know why you waited, 2 hours to let brothers come in. I don't know what that was about, but I'm gonna let y'all live tonight. tonight.
Well, Cube, you know what? I'm going to do a show on the divine masculine, and I'll ask Solar to come back and talk.
Yeah, because I
That's
wanted
a
to
good
politic with
idea.
that brother. Yeah, I wanted to politic with that brother and kind of pick his brain a little bit, to try to see where he was with this whole situation. Because I hold I hold women and men in different categories, and maybe I'm just wrong because if both men and women were confused by this brother, then I can say, hey, maybe I was wrong. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and close that out. Peace. Thank you for allowing me just to say
Thank you
that.
so much, Cube, for your patience. Like I will do a panel like that though
I look
about
forward to it,
divine
Q.
masculine.
To you,
Okay.
Q.
What you say,
Well, we'll
brother?
do.
I said I look forward to it. I like how you conduct yourself, so I know it'll go great.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, man.
That'll be a darn good show.
It really
Okay, we
would.
will do that. So and we'll bring Ghazali on, Cube, Zion, Keon, the regulars, and Seven Asar. I love what he had to say.
Hey,
Um,
I gotta get that sister's number. Somebody been asking for your number, sister. She know
who?
who she know who I'm
Ooh,
talking to.
Gemini.
Yeah, I gotta
Y'all
get
got
your
the
Gemini.
number.
back chat.
Yeah, yeah. Put your number in the back chat. I gotta get your number to pass it on to somebody. They've been trying to
I
hit you up. They've been asking.
cannot.
They've been
Y'all
asking
are
me
turning
about
the
you.
show into a
That's what
whole
I'm saying.
different vibe. Okay,
they
Hey, Napa, I'm gonna say
yes.
this
Put a
last thing.
sister all on
I
blast.
just
Good
want you to know
grief.
because it's my first time really being on here talking with you directly. Is
Yeah.
that thank you for doing this, and gained a lot of respect from you. This is a
Oh.
great way to be introduced to you,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's nice to know you now. I usually just do my own thing, but you have an amazing platform, and it's nice to see you doing the best that you can with it to actually give back to the people, and it's evident. So thank you
Wow.
for
Thank
being there
you.
for Janae, and thank you for being there for me as you are. I didn't even know, but now I know. So it's an
And
awesome
I want to
connection.
let you know, Solar. I want to talk about how I roll because she's okay with you and she loves you. That's why I'm okay with you and show you love. I mean that's just the
You think
facts.
I don't know
I'm,
that?
no, I'm coming straight through. I'm coming straight through the sister, and I'm like, okay, this is you. Okay, well, I got you. Then I'm gonna show your
I
man
know she
love
doing
and
all
respect.
this. That's my
That's
that's
your baby. See,
hey,
that's your queen
yeah.
doing all this. You don't thank me. Thank the tree that you get the energy from. Okay. Oh,
Hey.
all right. But you know what? Those were beautiful things to say. Solar, thank
Oh
you
yeah,
for.
somebody just texted me. They wanted me to tell that one sister with the white on that she's pretty. Somebody just texted me that. They
Oh,
wanted me to
yes.
tell her that.
Oh
So
yeah.
there
Let
you
me
go.
put her on the
She's
big
absolutely
screen so we
adored.
can wow the
Nah,
audience.
nah, she don't need the
Bask
big
in her
screen.
Oh,
glory.
Nah,
yes, she
nah,
definitely
nah.
gets
No,
the
she
big
don't.
screen.
Nah,
Bask
nah.
in
Yeah,
it.
Nah,
The
you
she's
filling her
amazing.
head
radiance.
up.
She's so,
Good. Do
no,
that. Hey, that's do
Thank
that.
you.
that no, her soul
I
is so
love
beautiful.
it.
That's why I want to let her close out. Thank you, Q, for letting me have that moment. I love showing her. Let me show her again. It's like
Oh
I'm
my
walking
God.
into the
Thank
store. Okay, don't you hate that when that happens? You're like, get me out the big screen. Okay,
right.
so I want to say thank you so much, Solar. Those are kind words. Thank you, Gemini, Sakina, Cube, Seven Asar, Keon. I'm sorry to No Saint. He was like Cube.
Love
He's
that.
like, I'm getting up. Seven Asar and Keon got to speak. Cube came back, but No Saint, sorry. I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. Janae,
Yes.
please close out and will you address your other sisters who are still locked in there. I want
Yeah.
people to see how kind you are where they weren't kind with you, saying things about you. I want people to hear from you, so I'm going to put you on the big screen and back off.
Oh, yes, I fully intended on doing that in my closing remarks. I just want to say thank you for everyone on the panel. Thank you so much, Napa. You are absolutely amazing goddess, and I'm thankful that Courtney Solar is up here as well. Thank you so much for your testimonies as well. Shout out to the Divine Masculine on the panel, holding the Divine Masculine accountable, and
Damn
shout out
right.
to the Divine Feminine. And I just want to say this to my sisters that are still in the cult, imagination or carbonation. If you're still watching, because I know that you are the power. There's
Thank you.
nothing he can say or do that can help you. you help yourself. And you've always known that. This is what I'm going to say it in a tense that they will understand. You know the knowledge. Start acting like you do. He has no power over you, and you know that. You still have a mind for your own, and you are still beautiful. It doesn't matter if he tells you you're ugly, you ain't worth shit, you won't ever be shit without him. That's a lie. You see, everyone else who left, they're making a life for themselves, and you can do it. You can still do that work for you. I do still love you and know that the universe is working in your favor, and that's why he's where he's at. So take this information, do whatever you want to do with it, but just know that you are his power, not the other way around. I love you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. That was
Ashe.
beautiful.
Yeah, we love
Ashe.
you back. I'm gonna do a show really quick. If y'all, if you're so inclined, you want to come check out my channel, you can check out Outside the Cube. I'm about to do a show. It's a little bit late, but I get it. I puts it down late, and yeah, just check out Outside the
Yeah,
Cube if
do
y'all
a
want to
whole
come
night
through.
off.
What, that's
Right,
on
outside
YouTube?
the cube. Mods, could you drop the link if you can? Definitely, y'all go to that channel. He gets real raw over there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Um,
raw
y'all
in
the
there,
right
trust me.
community. Y'all the right
he get
community
real
for this.
raw. You
Yeah,
might hear some stuff about me over there if you listen hard enough.
yeah,
He
yeah.
mouthy. He mouthy.
But
Yeah.
listen, it's all love. I do want to say, Dots, if you want to come in and say something at the end on our closeout, I'm just going to go around. Thank you so much, Janae. I'm going to go on to Solar because Solar and Janae were both, they had this sadly, and you brought out something beautiful, but they experienced the abuse. I want Solar to close out. Thank you for being here, Solar. And Janae, I'm going to bring you back for a panel. I'm saying this right now. I'm bringing Janae back to do an interview on Cam Up because all of this stuff about Eligio, people know, but they also need to see the singer, the author, the mother, the
Yes.
health
Yes.
Thank you.
guru. I need to do an
Yeah.
interview with her to just find out more. We need to Cam Up is like to talk about who you are more than your situations that surround you.
Where's
So
my interview? I'm
I'll
a
Cube,
father, a nigga.
I'll get you. We gonna
Personalized.
you know what?
Yeah.
Listen, Q, we will get you on Cam Up, but your interview is going to be. We're going to have to pull some sensitive.
Yeah.
We want to hear the sensitivity of you.
Well, you
Yeah.
won't. Well, you won't get that. But well,
See,
nah, you probably will. You probably will. You know.
we gotta break through some of that steel, that man of steel, and get to the heart of the matter. So I would like to interview you actually, Cube. That'd be great because you have
That's
an
what's up.
interesting story. Cube is a look. Not, I know you're tired of hearing this. Cube's a single father taking care of a young girl who's turning into blossoming into a woman, and he's doing an excellent job from what I've seen him do. So yeah, you've got an interesting story. Yes, we applaud you. We applaud the single fathers, single
Nah,
mothers.
just call me a
Yeah.
nigga, man. I'm cool with that.
See, that's the problem. We almost made it. All right, let me get to Solar.
It did not
We
take
almost made
long.
it.
Was that Denzel Washington? My
Solar,
nigga.
close out. Thank you. Dots, you can come in and on the closeout if you have a couple things to say, but it's up to you. I'll drop the link again. I don't know what happened. You were in. Oh yeah, I saw. She said drop the link. Go ahead, Solar. Please. Thank you for joining us. You do your closeout.
Beautiful. So the whole point of all of this and telling our stories and the testimony, and thank you, Nepal, for doing what you're doing from your own heart. It's all good intentions. Is to realize that you have power within your authentic self. It's our story is just a medium for more truth to come out. The truth has always been and always will be. Lies come and go, perspectives come and go, but what is, and who you are deserves to be expressed authentically without the outside manipulation and you thinking you need to be somebody for anybody else. So, like Janae said, I'm gonna add on that you are the power. These women, you are giving Eligio permission to be who he is to you. That's just the fact of it. And who are you to yourself? Start asking some questions and tap into your most authentic self so that we can see you riding in your purpose because that's going to be a beautiful thing. And that's about it. Thank you, Nepal. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to the Divine Masculine who has emotional intelligence. Shout out to the Divine Feminine who embraces her logic. I love y'all and continue to prosper. I wish nothing but the best for everybody.
Ooh, babe. Yep.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Peace and love to both of you. All right. So to the divine goddesses, all of you on the panel and in the audience, let's support each other so we can support the divine male, the divine masculine, more in a healthier way. Because I see the sisters who are coming on, they're like, they make every excuse for the horrible things that he's done instead of holding him accountable, which not him, because I'm not talking about Eligio, but for the male who does have a chance. He might look at it and go, you know what? You're right. I can't be this way. I don't want to be this way anymore. So that's what I just wanted to say. We need to really be able to love each other as women, and that way we can be better lovers to the men and better lovers to our sister. With that said, I'm gonna move to Gemini because she has a great statement that she told me. It was like a coconut dropped in my head. She said, what did you say? I always want to say the V tribe, but you said something else that was so awesome. Go ahead and tell me remind me what you said and do your closeout, Gemini, the goddess. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted, Gemini.
Okay, wait. So the first thing I want to say is, like when you, for me, when you say practice, like what we should be doing, like coming into wholeness, like you can see, the man getting healed 100%, the woman getting healed 100%. So we're coming into that. So I wanted to just bring out that point, and then I can't think of what I used to say. I don't know. I mean, it's something like, women, we are our own tribe. You know what I mean? We we are separate from the men altogether. The things that we do, they'll never be able to experience, so they cannot go to the very core of us with us. It's the female, because she understands every single thing that we go through as a woman. We go through it together, just different levels, different women, different thought processes. But we understand what it is to give birth, to carry for 9 months, stuff like that. So I just want to, as it pertains to what you were talking about earlier, right? Just coming into this wholeness between them two. I think it's great. Thank you for coming on the show. I can get long winded if I get in my feelings, and so you guys, remind me of something good. So I want to sit here and be chatty, but I appreciate everything that you shared with us tonight, and I'm looking forward to you guys returning.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I want, and I'm glad you said that because I want to thank the divine masculine, is because as much as these sisters, delve into their divine feminine, uh, us as men, we have to delve into our divine masculine. You know, and we have to understand that we have to protect our sisters, our daughters. We have to make sure that they're in a space to where they can come into their divine feminine, you know.
Come on.
So I can respect what you guys are saying, and I can also appreciate it, but at the same time, we cannot leave out, while you say, hey, our sisters can come together, we can't leave out that divine masculine. As
You're
much
right.
as we want to do it, we can't leave that out.
And I agree with you
But
on
we
that.
here. We here. You
So
see us. You see us.
you know what? Yeah, that's true. You are here. And I love the comment Spiritual TV 2000 said, divine masculine is the emotional intelligent and divine feminine embraces the logic. I love the
Yeah,
statement.
they quoted me right there.
I'm not going to get too deep into it and try to pick it
That's
apart.
beautiful.
Dots joined us at the very, very close. I'm glad. I'm going to let you go right after Sakina. Dots. Thank you so much for. I know you're going to add some wisdom to this, but Sakina, we are here.
Lucky.
She is. Close out, Sakina. Thank you so much for joining and adding.
Well, always, this was an awesome show, but I really want to thank the Queen and the prince, the little junior prince. I want to call him
Hey,
a
I'm
king.
29.
Because for sharing their story and being these young survivors, right? Because again, for them to come up out of that and survive from that, and still these people that's still there. And they don't even know that y'all still fighting for them, right? And the people are still fighting for them, and they don't understand that. You see, and so this is just a wonderful thing for y'all, and it's dreadful for them because they don't even understand it. And so, at one time, people were victimizing you for even having a story to tell, and so this is just awesome because this is a story and it's historically being told. So this bravery that you do, is appreciated on so many levels, right? Because the youth are telling it now, you know? And so we appreciate you for this, and just keep doing it and stay stronger, you
Thank
know.
you so much, Sakina Ra. I love it. And now, last but not least, I want to bring in Dot. She wanted to add, and I'm glad you came back in. When you were in last time, you must have fallen off. But peace
Yeah, I
to
don't
you,
know what
Dot.
happened. Hey y'all. Hey, good night. Good night. I'm gonna be real quick because I did have a question, but I'll just sort of wrap it up. I think I've heard great show. Also, I just wanted to say, but
Thank
I've heard
you.
the word like accountability, divine masculinity, all these terms throughout the conversation, right? And Solar, this is directed to you mainly because we all know that part of healing is accountability and time, right? But part of the divine masculinity is also protection of your feminine counterpart. And we know, obviously, that it wasn't there, right? And I think to Seven Asar's point, when he was talking about the accountability man to man, um, just is just my opinion. I think it's a little bit, I think it's deflection and it's a little bit disingenuous to say, because I was brainwashed and it's all nature boy's fault. At the end of the day, right? Part of healing is accountability. And that doesn't mean that you are blamed for the actions of another and how another treated somebody. However, you are responsible for only you and what you chose to do or not do, humbly, in my opinion. Okay. And I also just want to say that one thing that I don't know, it concerns me is when have seen this a lot. When you are healing and you're coming out of something that was so abusive and demonic and hard and harsh, which it was, we all know time is so critical, right? However, what I have seen is immediately after leaving, right, I hear a lot of the same terminology. I hear a lot of the same words, a lot of the same phrases that you guys used to speak in carbonation. And I've heard you say, as well as Janae, but I've heard you guys appoint yourselves as like, I'm going to be the example. I'm going to be the role model. I am the teacher. I am help. I am balanced. This is that, right? But how can you or anyone teach another about themselves or how to become more conscious when you have just started your process? And that requires a bit of humility, but it also requires accountability. And I don't think it's fair that all of the negative deeds and negative things that was done in carbonation just gets put all on Nature Boy as if the adults there also wasn't complicit. Two things can be true at the same time. That's all I want. Just in summary, that's it. That's all.
Thank you, Dots, for coming in and adding that. So I'm going to
Yo,
let
the
you.
fucking nerve, bro.
Hold
The
on, wait,
nerve.
wait, no,
No,
Q,
I
Q,
think
Q,
I
Q, Q,
think
Q.
I
Everybody,
think I
everybody, before
deserve to
you go,
respond to that.
you are going to respond, Solar. You're going to
Yeah.
respond. But
Wait.
I
Yeah.
want to say something before you do because I'm kind of like a moderator here in this. I appreciate that Dots obviously isn't the only one who's saying these things, but what we need to focus on, we're fair here. I say divine feminine. I say I'm praising people victims who escape. I don't I don't know what Solar's saying online. I kind of heard her say you're saying you're the teacher. You're this. I know what's going on. I don't see Solar any different than I see Suzuka. I don't see Solar any different than I see Janae. I don't see Solar any different than anyone in that house who was under Eligio. Now, Solar, you can elaborate, but I know about cults, and men don't get to get say beaten over the head when they enter a cult. When they enter a cult, they're in the cult. They hand up over all their power. We might see a facade of power. We might have thought that he had some power. He had no power. He might not even say this because maybe the male bravado ego. He was powerless, just as
But hold on, sister.
so
Hold on.
I do want you to say something, but let's keep it. We're closing it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, I can keep it PG, but hold on
Yeah.
though. This woman just disrespected this dude. This dude just came and availed himself and made himself available to us, and she's trying to, place a something on this brother. Hold on, if the sister Janae is a damn survivor, then so is this brother. Why would she come on here and even say something like that, bruh? Why wouldn't she come on here and say that she respects both of them? Because she wants to give respect to Janae, and rightfully so if she is a survivor. But what about the brother? So why is she even coming on here with that? Why aren't you, Nepal, castigating this woman and telling her to get the hell out of here with that
No, no, no,
nonsense?
no. Because I first off, I know. Let me tell you, Cube, you did great with your how you express yourself. I don't have to castigate her because she's.
Yes, you have to.
Hold
She,
on. Let me say, Cube, give me a minute. You could go in on your show on this if you like, but just
When
let me
I
say this.
speak, it'll make it
You're
all
going to
clear.
speak, Solar. You're going to get to say. I'm not going to cut you off. You have free reign. Go until you can't go anymore. But I needed to say this. Dots came in and she said what Dots wanted to say, and Dots is speaking for a portion of the audience that's thinking this. Somebody in the audience said, "Oh, I'm so glad she asked that question." But see, that's going to help Solar because now Solar can address it, right? I don't have to castigate Dots. Solar's going to address it. I said the truth and facts. This isn't an opinion. He was also under the rule and the cult indoctrination
can I ask you a
and
question?
the abuse of Eligio. I know
Can
he
I ask
wants
you a
to talk.
question?
Yeah, but you
Solar,
know
take a
what?
deep breath.
Sometimes listen, we got this old saying that says sometimes what's understood don't need to be explained. So
Yeah, but
we
we're
know
not
what's
talking about
going
that right now.
on.
No,
I
she's
mean, we
right.
can see all of these things, these negative things, but to sit and just, boldly put them out there as if it's the whole thing when we still talking about it's the half thing. So what I'm
Yeah,
saying
wait,
Yeah, but we ain't
Gemini, hold
talking
on.
about that.
Hold
Hold
on,
on,
hold
hold
on. Wait a minute. I don't want this to go left. Let's
on.
come in. Everybody's, I promise, especially Cuba. I know you've been waiting, but
And
I'm
can
starting
I
to.
want to respond
Don't
directly
worry,
to
Yeah,
Nepal.
I'm
Cube
Don't
and
starting.
worry.
I'm gonna
then
let
Okay.
Solar go, and then let me
I'll
say this.
handle that real
Let
quick.
me say this. Let me say this. Solar, you can close out with what you want to say. I want to say this. I'm starting to really see something. Are we not understanding that men aren't made out of stone and metal, and they're actually human beings? Do we?
Yes, that's
I
what
mean,
we're saying.
I thought. Wait, Cuba, no, but I think people misunderstand when I'm saying the feminine divine. Men are not some other creature. They get victimized. They get manipulated. They get brainwashed. And I know Solar, you might be like, damn, don't make me. They get downtrodden. They Solar, you didn't have any power. If you're gonna come in here, you could speak, but I know you had no power to save anybody. You
Hmm?
didn't. He didn't. No, he had no power to save anybody. He was in a
We
cult.
all didn't. We
Thank
all
you.
Yeah,
didn't.
right,
Hold
right.
on.
I'm
Let
gonna
me
let
just.
I
Solar
wanted
go.
to
Let me let Solar go,
respond. Oh
Dots.
yeah, go ahead, Solar.
Dots,
Start because I was
respectfully,
talking to you.
Dots. Dots,
Yeah,
I kept
and then
telling
I
you to
want to respond to Cube.
go ahead. Go
Nah, you
ahead,
can't
Solar.
respond to me without me talking. Be
Cube,
quiet.
my friend. Please, y'all, both of you,
All
Dots
right.
of
When
Cube.
y'all
Let's
ready,
hear
I'm
Solar.
ready.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead, Solar. Let's hear from him,
And
please.
I'm gonna go after him.
Yes, you can definitely do that, Janae.
Okay,
No, I'm gonna
great.
go after him. I
No,
apologize.
no,
Go ahead.
let Janae go after.
Hey, so here we go.
This isn't
Go
about
ahead and
Dots.
challenge
First
Cube.
off, this
Nah,
isn't
cause
about
she
Dots.
disrespected my
I
brother.
know,
And
but Cube, she's speaking for a lot of these people in the
No,
audience.
I'm
So
speaking for Dots.
No, no, no. You think you're speaking for Dots, but people have been repeating it
is
over and over.
Dots is
I'm
Hold on.
speaking for Daughters of the Sea. I'm not speaking for.
Real
that's
quick, let
Dots.
me everybody just
Okay.
hold on. I didn't mean I had to mute you for a second because I need to say this. You say you're speaking Dot's words, but it's something that I keep seeing repeated in the chat. That's what I mean. So you're not
Okay.
coming and saying I'm speaking for the audience, but it's the same rhetoric that I keep on seeing every now and then in the chat about him. Why didn't he protect women? So I'm going to let him respond, Dots and Cube and everybody. I'm going to let Solar go. Dots, you can come in after if he's a. Do you? I don't want this to go left, but
I remember her
definitely go
questions.
ahead. Go ahead.
I remember her questions, and the problem we are very similar in how we see things. Because the first thing that I wanted to say was her question isn't. I don't take it personal because she represents a group of people who are wondering the same thing. So I don't take any offense of it. As a matter of fact, it's an opportunity. And to add to what Cube was saying, Cube is also absolutely correct, and that perspective also deserves to be looked at because at the end of the day, when you look at what we went through, you want me to take accountability for what other women experienced when they were there based off of things that I didn't do to them when I was there educating them the right way, loving them and protecting them while I could, and doing the best that I could from the level of power that I did have, being the right hand of the cult leader, but just underneath, and choosing that because I'm putting a bigger focus, a bigger vision ahead of me rather than my own wills and desires. Now, all I can have is a level of regret for how I used to think. And for you to say that that's a form of a cop out or something, that's not fair because anybody who's practicing any skill or any craft is going to make a mistake at some point. And for them to hold an emotional attachment to that mistake is unhealthy. Whereas to actually learn and grow from that situation and become a better person today, that's the only thing that matters. So your question shouldn't be about accountability of other people and what happened to them in their lives. Your question should be, did you learn? Did you grow? What did you learn? And how did you grow? That's how you teach. A student is a teacher. And the greatest teacher knows that they're still a student. So at the end of the day, everybody's fit to teach. Number one. Number two, Cube is absolutely correct because why would you look at me and say that I have to share a burden of what another person did to another person when I had nothing but the best intentions, which I already expressed that. So I don't have the need to take accountability for what happened with others. But what I can do, what I can do to answer you and to pay attention to that accountability is that yes, I made plenty of mistakes. I went the wrong way many, many times. I was walking in the dark for years. I did not know who I was for years. I was seeking things outside of myself to fill these voids for years. And if I could go back and fix those things, I wouldn't be who I am today. Luckily, I walked through the dark. Luckily, I asked for the light and I found it and I went to it. And I choose to embody it today. And I choose to be better.
Okay, you know what? I
Hey,
think.
let me say this real quick. Yo, my nigga, we got to just keep this a buck, bro. And I'm not finna play
Why
with
bring
this
it up?
woman.
But
I'm
Cube,
not.
I don't want to
That's
have to
what I
take the
was saying.
stream
Why
down.
even bring it up?
I don't want to even take have because I want people to
No,
hear
we ain't
this.
got to do that. We could just allow me to speak.
You
Like,
can
like,
okay, but okay, I know,
Yeah.
but don't go into to leave that
no,
for.
no, no.
I
I'm not
gotta
gonna.
drop your link. Go on your
I'm not gonna be
channel.
disrespectful. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be
All right,
disrespectful.
go ahead.
This woman, bruh, she looked at the sister. I think her name is Janae. She looked at the sister and said, "Okay, this sister, went through what she went through, and we all can understand that." But when the brother is saying the same thing that he went through something, she doesn't even care about that. Bro, listen, hey, Dots, whatever your name is, we ain't finna listen to you for real. Because what you talking about is what you want to do is you trying to separate people. Listen, if this young brother went through something, even our sister Janae, she can say, "Oh, I went through that same thing," and that's where they can connect that. What you trying to do is you trying to separate it like just because he's a man, he can't go through this thing. Yo, get out of here with that. Yo, hey, sister DePaul, you should get that girl the hell out of here and don't even allow her to say this stuff that she's
I
saying.
want to just play the music. Good night, everybody. When
I'm about,
Dots,
no, I'm about to,
Nepal, no, no, no,
I
no,
can't
no,
let
no,
I can't let
no,
yeah,
this
you
happen.
about to.
We can't have this keep going. I'm sorry. We can't have. I'm taking everybody off, not just Dots. Everybody, good night. I'll be off. We'll see you again soon. I'm gonna call you.
No, he got my back and he won't never change. That's loyalty, that's love, yeah. Me from the bottom, we from above, yeah. I stand up for y'all, but that on everything, everything. No, he got my back and he won't never change, never change. That's loyalty, that's love, yeah. Me from the bottom, we from above. I stand up for y'all, and the spirit in me. Stay out that black, cause that's them bricks he will be in me. I love that brother with a fan, cause they ain't really friendly. Sleeping on the floor, had nothing, they don't really feel me. Raised them on like he was 10, no, they don't really hit me. Women make they blowin' smoke, it's a chimney. Ain't no joke, don't want it with me. I'm known from blocks to hoods, no need to mention names. Oh yeah, we do this for y'all, but that don't mean anything. If for them babies, they had nothing but a bread for rain. If for them young ones, they would be, it would raise the pain. I bring that sword from my mouth, we gon' make a change. I stand up for y'all, I won't praise his name. I stand up for y'all, but that don't mean anything. No, he got my back and he won't never change. That's loyalty, that's love, yeah. Me from the bottom, we from above, yeah. I stand up for y'all, but that on everything, everything. No, he got my back and he won't never change, never change. That's loyalty, that's love, yeah. Me from the bottom, we from above, yeah. Stay on my toes.